while Ethan's fans praised it, Hassan's fans and orbiters like iDubbbz and Frogan did not, which drew the attention of Psychopath, Thad, and Venado. Trust me, more on him later. Since then, Ethan has been harassed by multiple snark subreddits, had CPS called on his kids, and even had 2...
Look at this. Already more production value than fucking... than iDubbbz did in his. We got background music, we got multiple clips being played. When he's saying the context, he's showing the relevant thing. It's not just him sitting in front of a camera complaining. Why did iDubbbz do that? Why did he not show any context? Why did he not show any proof to back any up most of the stuff he said? Because most of the stuff he said had no proof to back it up. He was lying. And what little evidence he did show was clipped extremely out of context and easily debunked and disproven.
Hate.
Okay, so content cop videos were apparently bad. Ian doesn't think it's okay to morally grandstand and thinks that content cop videos are hurtful and cruel.
That someone disappeared, huh?
No, he's just his chin disappeared.
Oh.
And showing the old good content cops. See, that's even the kind of joke that could still flow today. Well, no, because it's an intrinsic attribute. Never mind. But you could do jokes similar to that without dropping slurs and stuff. It is still possible to be funny without doing a lot of the stuff that he did.
So instead of changing your content cop format to not morally grandstand or whatever, you do the same thing, but instead of the use of slurs, you just make a hit piece on your friend of nearly 9 years. Then you include people like iDubbbz, who have promoted malicious misinformation that has directly led to in real life harassment of Ethan's kids. So are you pro-harassment or are you anti-harassment?
I can recognize that you did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way. I would make, a couple videos, the content cop and the content deputy, and then I would say, okay, I'm done. For me, it was done. It was not done for the people who watched my videos. It was not done for the person who was being harassed. I didn't plan on making a content cop on...
Right, and then you immediately go into harassment and do things that encourage harassment. That's the thing, is now it's even more snaky, because now he's doing it in a more cowardly way, where he's hiding behind other people. Where now it's, oh, I'm going to show other people saying the mean thing, and I'm going to show other people doing the mean thing, and doing like iDubbbz does, where I didn't tell people to go do it. See, I'm not for that. But when they were saying that they were going to go do it, when my chat was exploding with we should do this, I didn't tell them not to. I just remained silent. Our silence means something. It's funny how it means something till it fucking doesn't. All right, so the torch of content cop has been passed. All right, iDubbbz, there's a new sheriff in town. All right, he's walking tall. Got a guy here on YouTube by the name of Cameron F305. Apparently he's a newcomer. And he hit the ground running with his first video. Is this his first video? Oh, hold on. Let's have a look at his channel real quick. No, it looks like it's his first video like this. It looks like he did mostly Five Nights at Freddy's and anime content before then, but not a whole lot of views. A couple thousand here and there. No, nothing major. And then he drops Content Cop iDubbbz, where he says, I'm gonna do Content Cop, since the guy who had it is fucking up. He has made it a farce, a shadow of its former self. I don't think that the new Content Cop on H3 or the Content Deputy, I don't think any of iDubbbz's new content can count as Content Cop. Okay, it's gonna be like the 5th season of the X-Men animated cartoon, the one they did in Korea. We're gonna pretend that shit didn't happen. Okay, and then when we reboot the series, we're just gonna pick up from season 4, and that's what's happening here. Here we have the reboot of Content Cop by, once again, Cameron F305, whose first video like this, he went from a couple thousand views, drops a video on iDubbbz, Content Cop iDubbbz, and we are already at almost 700,000 views. This guy's creeping towards 1 million. So let's see. Let's see if he's got what it takes. Let's see if he's got what it takes to hold the torch here. Okay. Throw that up on screen. Fire up another match. Now let's see. The new sheriff in town, Content Cop iDubbbz. Take it away, Cameron.
Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship. Stop it, I'm powerless. No, you have a ton of power.
All right,
That's
well, there's
exactly
Cameron.
what you get for being filthy
Let's see
rich.
if he nails the intro.
I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate whatsoever on my end.
Okay,
That was
he's
morally
outside, he's doing
grandstanding
skits.
and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content videos on.
What we do here is go back.
Turn it down a little bit. He's in the outfit. He's doing the goofy skits. He's playing the music. He's nailing it. All right, look, I thought about doing one myself, and I still might. I'm immediately going to be called racist. Because the opening to Content Cops always have you dressed as a cop doing a bunch of goofy skits and tackling people and wrestling with them. iDubbbz used to do it with his friend. Problem is, all my IRL friends are black. So it's going to be a bad look for me.
Oh, darn. It's a shame I'm on the other side of the country.
It's going to be a bad look for me. So, but, you know, it is what it is. Half my family's black. All my friends are black. My kid's baby mama's black. So, call me racist if you want. I think it'll backfire. I think I get the pass. I wonder who I should do my content cop on. I'm seriously thinking about this, but I'm gonna get inspired watching Cameron right now and see what the new formula is. Because obviously we can't do the old formula. I can't be dropping N-word F slurs. I can't be doing that. So there has to be a new formula that keeps Content Cop just edgy enough to keep your video from getting deleted, but not so PC that it's neutered like current Content Cop. So maybe Cameron's found that happy middle ground. I'm gonna see what he's done here, and might get inspired. I might do a Content Cop Hassan or Destiny or Pirate Software. I don't know. It's quite a few names, quite a few players who've been fucking up lately that could use a content cop. Anyway, continue, Cameron. God damn if he ain't nailing this intro though.
Hey there,
nailed the
folks.
intro.
I'm your local content cop. I make sure everyone's content is up to par, and if it's not, I will bring them to justice. We've all made content that we're not very proud of. You know, maybe you made music for a very controversial project that you might regret, or maybe you went on
the intro
stream
thing,
and shouted that America deserved a terrorist attack. I'll spare you any further examples. But on today's episode of Content Cop, our theme is friendship. Today we're going to be talking about a former great on YouTube that has turned into one of the biggest disingenuous, hypocritical, spineless pussies that I've ever seen on this website.
No
That's
punches
right,
pulled
we're gonna
right
be
out the
talking
gate.
about Anissa Jamha's husband, iDubbbz, otherwise known as Ian. Some people call him.
Oh, I love that, how he flipped the script, because everybody just, like, when they're talking to Ethan, they won't address Ethan's wife. It's all, they won't call her Gila. They won't call her by name. It's always just Ethan's wife. So when introducing iDubbbz here, it's Anissa's husband. It's just immediate. Just, you don't deserve a name, bud. All right. I'm on board, buddy.
Call me Ian. I'm gonna be calling him Ian. Oh, come on, Cameroon. You're just mad that iDubbbz doesn't say the naughty slurs anymore. He's very mature now.
And immediately addressing all of the popular criticism, some of which has been in the comments on my channel. iDubbbz doesn't say the slurs anymore. I guess Content Cop's bad now. No, that's not the reason it's bad. I mean, that's the reason it's not entertaining, but that's not the reason it's bad. It's bad because all of his criticisms were bullshit and he lied a lot, because it's just propaganda now.
Think you need to grow up. That actually has nothing to do with it. I honestly could not care less what kind of words he uses in his videos. Also, that maturity narrative is complete bullshit. He does damn near everything that he apologized for to this day. Most importantly, we're going to be talking about how dog shit his content is now, but before I get ahead of myself, let me fill you in on why we're here and who we're going to be talking about. If you're very keenly aware of this situation and you just want to get on to the video, here's a timestamp, or you can use the chapter feature on YouTube. Otherwise,
I'm gonna let it play. I'm gonna let it play. I know everyone here is already intimately familiar with iDubbbz content and everything leading up to that. We've covered it on this channel. But for the sake of like analyzing the new content cop and seeing if it lives up to the legacy and see if we have a proper reboot, a spiritual successor, if you will. Well, for that, we're gonna let it ride. Look at that. Look at that. In between just throwing mountains of information at you, another skit. Hey, do you remember skits? iDubbbz? Do you remember comedy? Do you remember how entertaining content cops used to be? Yeah, this is what that looks like in modern day. Wow, this guy found a way to do it. Imagine that.
Welcome to the Filthy Frank Show.
iDubbbz gained popularity with his collaborations with Filthy Frank & Co., as well as his edgy and offensive humor seen in Kickstarter crap.
And yes, I'm aware that was a Filthy Frank clip, and he's throwing clips in there, but the point is, it's not just immediately to the criticism while you sit there in front of a camera and complain. Does a Filthy Frank video have anything to do with the criticism? No, but it adds context, and it was fucking entertaining.
Bad Unboxing, and Content Cop. Despite being really funny at the time, his offensive vocabulary would likely not fly on YouTube today.
Oh, it's a single piece of paper that says
Nice friendship.
Now let's bring in one of his close friends for over 8.5 years, Ethan.
I like how he turned the N-word F slur into nice friendship instead of N-word F slur. Nice.
And Hila Klein of H3H3 Productions. Their videos together marked some of the most iconic collaborations during that era of YouTube. As times changed, so did the creators. Filthy Frank.
Yeah, that's the thing that got me too. Like, and I guess I don't know why H3 didn't go harder to be like, I helped make you. Could iDubbbz have become successful on his own? Sure. I mean, his content was good enough back then. But the thing is, his collaborations, like H3 was, his channel was always bigger. Like while iDubbbz is getting 1 to 2 million views per video back then, H3's getting like 10 million views. Like even back then, like he's just hitting the numbers. So collabing with him and having them in videos together was like an instant boost for him. Maybe he would have been able to stay relevant and all would have worked out just fine. Or maybe it wouldn't have. Who's to say? But to have that boost, to make friends with a big YouTuber like that back when YouTube was exploding and new careers were being made, to fucking make friends with someone like that and to build that career together and then to turn on it to chase clout from one of his enemies because you couldn't stay relevant on your own. And the worst part is you probably could have sided with Ethan, and you could have probably gotten him to, do more videos with you or do something to, help boost your career again if you really wanted to get back into YouTube. I still think what he did with Hassan was clout chasing. I don't want to believe that he honestly believes the bullshit that he spouted about Ethan. But my God, man, was that content cop just so bad? It's just absolutely atrocious. Like, he knows he's lying when he says this stuff, too. Like, you can see it in his face.
Frank went on to become Joji. Max Mofo and Anything for Views would start their channel, Cold Ones. H3H3 would focus on their podcast, which didn't go without its own controversies over the years. Which led iDubbbz to move on and try different types of content like documentaries on enigmatic figures of the internet. As Ian moved away from his old content, he would run into a few of his own controversies, which we will be dabbling into today. But what I really want to nail in here is throughout all of that, H3 always stood by Ian, even at the expense of his PR. After his documentary with Sam Hyde, Ian's content would really start to lose his soul, which we'll get into later, but let's fast forward a bit. Enter Hassan Piker.
Of course. You can't do this without talking about Hassan Piker. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, Ethan did stick with him, even though he wasn't helping him make content. Like, I think if iDubbbz would have like swallowed his pride and expressed this this desire to get back into content, because look, the documentaries are doing okay, but they're not what they're too difficult to make. I want to go back to doing the old stuff again. I want to bring back Content Cop. These charity events are failing. I just want to do Content Cop again, but I don't know how to do it. Like, Ethan probably would have worked with him. Ethan's learned a lot in his journey through podcasting and his controversies. He's had his crash out moments. He's had his cringe moments. I didn't watch most of the podcast. I didn't care about the frenemies thing. I didn't care about leftovers. And I would only watch the ones where he was interviewing celebrities when it was a celebrity I wanted. Kind of the same way I watch Joe Rogan, where I don't care about Joe Rogan. I care about I'm not watching for Joe Rogan. I'm watching for the guests. But he learned a lot along the way, and he learned how to stay funny without being edgy. And he could have probably taught that skill to iDubbbz and helped him make a Content Cop that didn't suck. But instead, he went for the instant clout route because that would have taken a lot more work. Instant clout, well, you can get that by just hitching your horse to the Hassan Piker wagon.
We think the
America deserves bloodthirsty, violent pig dog.
A hype beast, polarizing socialist streamer, and former co-host of Leftovers, a show on the H3 podcast. Hassan and Ian were very friendly. Everything was fine until the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel, which led to a falling out between Ethan and Hassan. More on that later. After a long back and forth, this rift peaked with Ethan's return to H3 Productions releasing content nuke Hassan Piker. While Ethan's fans praised it, Hassan's fans and orbiters like iDubbbz and Frogan did not, which drew the attention of Psychopath, Bad Empanada. Trust me, more on him later. Since then, Ethan has been harassed by multiple snark subreddits, had CPS called on his kids, and even had 2...
Look at this. Already more production value than fucking... than iDubbbz did in his. We got background music, we got multiple clips being played. When he's saying the context, he's showing the relevant thing. It's not just him sitting in front of a camera complaining. Why did iDubbbz do that? Why did he not show any context? Why did he not show any proof to back any up most of the stuff he said? Because most of the stuff he said had no proof to back it up. He was lying. And what little evidence he did show was clipped extremely out of context and easily debunked and disproven. That's the difference between a good Content Cop and whatever the fuck iDubbbz is calling Content Cop nowadays.
Human skulls sent to his house. Meanwhile, Ian's former editor Froggy Tonic, whom Anissa, Ian's wife, was still publicly engaging with on Twitter, started posting tweets harshly attacking Ethan and Hilo with misinformation. When Ethan asked for Ian's support, he chose to stay out of it, until he didn't by choosing to release a dogshit video titled Content Cop H3. With all that out of the way, let's continue. Ian, that one was for you. I hope burping is still funny.
Remember transitions? Holy shit. This guy is just hitting all the nails on the head here.
To start, let's look at Ian's video, I Miss the Old iDubbbz, and see what his principles are now that he's above his old edgy content.
I have made some cruel, hurtful content. The content I'm talking about specifically are Content Cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making Content Cop videos on, and I'm not. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate.
Okay, so Content Cop videos were apparently bad. Ian doesn't think it's okay to morally grandstand and thinks that Content Cop videos are hurtful and cruel.
But someone disappeared, huh?
No, he's just his chin disappeared.
Oh.
And showing the old good Content Cops. See, that's even the kind of joke that could still flow today. Well, no, because it's an intrinsic attribute. Never mind. But you could do jokes similar to that without dropping slurs and stuff. It is still possible to be funny without doing a lot of the stuff that he did.
So instead of changing your Content Cop format to not morally grandstand or whatever, you do the same thing, but instead of the use of slurs, you just make a hit piece on your friend of nearly 9 years. Then you include people like iDubbbz, who have promoted malicious misinformation that has directly led to in real life harassment of Ethan's kids. So are you pro-harassment or are you anti-harassment?
I can recognize that you did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way.
I would make, a couple videos, the Content Cop and the Content Deputy, and then I would say, okay, I'm done. For me, it was done. It was not done for the people who watched my videos. It was not done for the person who was being harassed.
I didn't plan on making a Content Cop on
Right. And then you immediately go into harassment and do things that encourage harassment. That's the thing, is now it's even more snaky, because at least before he could take personal responsibility for it, because he was the one just outright saying the naughty things. So the harassment did feel like his part, like it might be his fault. I say it's still not. You're not responsible for your audience. If you got a bunch of idiots out there, they're gonna do what they want anyway. Even if you never said any of the slurs or didn't have any of the jokes, if they agreed with your take on the situation and they hated a person enough, they're going to do what they're going to do. You're not responsible for them. But he felt personally responsible because he said bad things and got them all riled up. Fine, whatever. Now he's doing it in a more cowardly way, where he's hiding behind other people. Where now it's, oh, I'm going to show other people saying the mean thing, and I'm going to show other people doing the mean thing, and doing like iDubbbz does, where I didn't tell people to go do it. See, I'm not for that. But when they were saying that they were going to go do it, when my chat was exploding with "we should do this," I didn't tell them not to. I just remained silent. Our silence means something. It's funny how it means something till it fucking doesn't.
H3.
I don't know, maybe you just lack empathy?
I have always thought that I was an empathetic person. I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy. It sounds really
He leveled up
to say at the age of 32.
I love the addition of the sound effects and stuff. Like, this guy's actually putting entertainment value into it. And I am getting some ideas for content cop of my own, guys. Maybe my first actual edited video on this channel.
Acquired empathy.
No, Ian. It is pathetic.
You know, my empathy meter's only maybe like a quarter of the way filled up. But it...
Yeah, what a perfect excuse. You haven't filled your empathy meter enough. I'm sorry I fucked you over, sir, but alas, my empathy meter is only 3/4 the way full. Ian, you were 27 while making those videos, but you're telling me all of a sudden over 5 years you just, boom, gained empathy? I'm sure it had nothing to do with the fact that you would not have been able to make that content in the post-2020 adpocalypse era of YouTube, given the fact that you were teasing a new content cop before that. But
Nah, that had nothing to do with it. Coincidence, I assure you. I'm over to you, bud.
No. It's because you decided to start caring and feeling empathy. Where was all of this so-called empathy in the H3 content cop? You never mentioned CPS in your video, and your veiled attempt at empathy was only sprung by the YouTube apology ratings guy not changing his rating for Ethan's apology video.
But I asked him
Because your big own for that video backfired, and I'm confused why you even left it in. Like, that still confuses me. Why even leave it in then? Why not just cut it? You already had to rewrite the ending because you thought you were going to travel to this place and get this guy to change his rating, and then you meet with the guy and he's like, "No, I'm not doing that." And you left it in. You left in your failure. It's remarkable.
I hadn't responded the way that I had, how would the video have ended differently? And he said, "Oh, absolutely."
This doesn't make you look good or caring in any way. It makes you look manipulative.
I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I'm any better than any of these people.
That's
that I was
exactly what you
making
get
content videos
for
on.
being filthy rich.
Ian, you are a massive hypocrite.
And you know what else is massive?
Yes! Yes! And the fucking memes! Oh my god, I remember when they had memes! And you know what else is massive? We got that one on my stream! We got that one right here! Look, I've added it to the stream!
And you know what else is massive?
We got it right here, boys! Let's go!
We're going to take a pause from the H3 drama for a moment and take a look at Ian's changed content. It's fucking dog shit. Unlike Ian, I'm actually going to try to provide some context here. iDubbbz would crack well over 1 million views for every video he uploaded since mid-2015. This was until 2022 after things began to dwindle for him, as his videos went from well-thought-out comedy videos or goofy, bad unboxing videos to ranking playground equipment. To put it simply, this content is boring and genuinely unfunny.
Yeah, he went through a shitty phase of fucking content where it looks like he was trying to chase the Mr. Beast style, but to do the like family friendly, I'm gonna review goofy shit, like reviewing all the flavors of Cheez-Its and bullshit like that. He's right, they were dog shit videos. You can't go from being like, it's too hard a swing for the pendulum in the other direction. And I get it. You were trying to cleanse yourself of a certain audience, and maybe that's the purpose those videos had, and maybe it worked, because when you go from being the guy who's screaming N-word F-slur to I'm the guy who reviews children's toys and all the flavors of Cheez-Its, guys, family-friendly content, yeah, that audience is probably going to leave. All right, but now you got rid of them. Now you need to attract a new audience. So now what? How do you do that? And that's the part that he didn't know how to do. So he decided to cheat and just go straight for the new audience by, jumping in bed with Hassan Piker. Pun intended.
You can get pretty dangerous with swing sets, especially if you're doing it side by side with another person.
Shot in the back.
Shit, I'm coming.
And this isn't because he's not doing commentary videos anymore. Whenever he does, those suck as well.
My studded leather sash gives me 8 strength and 8 agility, which, no. Let's do that over again. Why did I say agility? 8 strength and 8 stamina.
It's very evident that Ian has lost a sense of humor. Maybe this is a side effect of gaining a quarter bar of that empathy meter, but it feels like he's lost any sense of irony. In this video, he basically makes a pseudo content cop on carton arcs. It was very poorly received. It's just very apparent that Ian just doesn't get it.
Yes, it's very easy to call these people unhinged. Another word you can use is disabled. Their brain.
You can tell how far left he goes throughout the course of these videos and his evolution by how soy his haircut becomes. Why is it that all the bread tubers and all the fucking soy streamers and all the fucking leftist ones always go like straight for 90s mullet? That thing that used to mean tough guy. They get the soy mullet and then they get those fucking shit haircuts. Oh my, like this thing's atrocious, man. Look at this fucking thing.
Isn't working like yours or mine. For some people, they feel like they have to answer the door.
What the fuck? Yes, Ian, responding to someone in public who's talking to you makes you disabled. You're a retard. You're fucking retarded. You're disabled. Because you respond to someone in public, you're fucking disabled.
Yo, is this person fucking retarded?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see that haircut? Damn, I didn't pause in time. But look at that thing.
Yes.
Before you say that people stopped watching because he stopped doing all the series that he was known for, he tried returning to Bad Unboxing, but it just felt soulless.
Good craftsmanship. Oh, I like that. I feel like a little pupil.
Bad Unboxing was never like a big hit series for him anyway. It was that filler content that people watched because A, YouTube was a different place back then. There wasn't as much content. Not as much quality content, and B, he had a bunch of fans, and they just want to support you, so they watch the Bad Unboxing for that parasocial reason. Once that audience is gone, no one's watching the Bad Unboxings because Bad Unboxings are good. They watch the Bad Unboxings because they just wanted to see more of you and show you support. Now there's no one left to support you, and all you've got left is the bad Unboxing. I mean, it was appropriately titled. It is bad. But not the good kind of bad, like a B movie.
Oh, it's big girl panties. You think I'm gonna wear this? I'm not a large. I'm a medium, homesprung.
Like, he didn't allow people to send in fan mail, probably because he was scared.
Yeah, and that was like half the point of Bad Unboxing was that you would allow people to send in shit, and then you open it for a video. And of course, if they send in something too inappropriate that you can't open in a video, you just don't release that video. But he didn't allow anybody to send stuff in, so it's just, hey, look, I bought stuff on Temu, or like there's already like a gabillion of those channels. It was the parasocial part that made those popular. The fact that people could, send you personalized shit, so then you're opening things that can only be seen on your channel.
Scared of his own audience.
I've learned a lot since the last Bad Unboxing. Number 1, do not trust strangers to send you packages.
Like, nobody cares about the packages that your wife ordered from your Discord on Amazon. They want to see the whimsical shit that your audience sends you to get a reaction out of you.
I'm Jewish.
The only good piece of content around this era was his collaboration with Max and Chad. Not only because it was nostalgic, but because Max and Chad are genuinely funny.
Create a clash. Punching, boxing, fighting. Money. Money? Sponsorship. Landscape.
I dropped a box. I dropped a util box.
Thank you.
Let's go. Get the fuck out of here. I grabbed the wrong gun. All I have is HDR and a rocket launcher.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not taking this too seriously right now anyway. It's just background noise.
Max and Chad haven't aged one day. Meanwhile, Ian just looked like he got out of rehab from that. Most underwhelming reunion I've ever seen. If this was Ian from 7 years ago, this would have been a lot less
I gotta find a different weapon.
I feel like he's constantly trying
Listen,
to be on his
take the
best
bounty
behavior
out.
for the mob.
It's a fight I
It's
can't
very
win.
clear the juxtaposition between Max and Chad versus Ian. Ian looks depressed.
See a vehicle.
And as a former fan of iDubbbz, it was hard to come to terms with the fact that Ian just isn't funny anymore. Which sucks.
Alpha Bravo, this is Flaming Pegasus. We're out here looking for Deputy Washburn. He's been missing for a while.
There's two.
Two placed.
Waiting for the jailbird to see if it brings us back. And
Oh, yeah.
skits in between the fucking... Oh my god, look at this. I mean, they're interesting skits. I wouldn't say they're the best, but they're better than the nothing iDubbbz had in his. Yep, they work.
Before we get on to our video's focal point, I feel it's important to give a bit of context on some people that are pertinent to the situation with H3. First up, we have Sean Damn it, I said people who are pertinent to the situation.
Oh, shit, behind us.
Problems, we would have socialism at this point. If someone just went out of their way and...
So first up, we have Frogan.
I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. U.S. military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD.
The next day.
You're joining them. You're like, oh my god, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into it.
And this bitch. Yeah, I'm saying it. I'm using the B word. I think it applies to Denims and Frogan. I'm going to take a step beyond Ethan here. This bitch has the nerve to constantly spout shit like this on her stream. And then the minute someone says something about her, calls her fat, makes fun of her. I mean, you put a target on yourself and you dish it out. But the minute it comes back your way, you start screaming victim. Like it's insane the level of cry bullying that this chick has achieved. Like that whole group. They have reached cry bully level 9,000. It's over 9,000. Oh wait, I don't have a meme button for that one yet. All right, look, more memes are coming, guys. Just bear with me. I'm still learning here.
Go fucking America. And they posted it in my head. I'm like, base? Base?
A Hassan Orbiter, Twitch streamer, and moderator for Hassan Piker. Other than her close association to Hassan and just being extremely unlikable, Frogan is notable for being kind of the first domino to this situation. Oh yeah, also she was twice nominated for Rising Star of the Year at the Streamer Awards.
Wait, is this proof that Cameron, not Gerard Davis, watches Nicholas Diorio? Using Nicholas Diorio's domino analogy for Frogan? Is that what just happened? I see you, Cameron. I watch too, bud. Even though Nicholas still has me blocked on Twitter. Still a fan. Still waiting for that unblock.
On October 7th, after Hamas's attack on an Israeli music festival, Frogan tweeted this.
Leftists preach and foam at the mouth at the thought of a revolution happening in America. But as soon as one happens in the Middle East, what they're doing is wrong.
After this quite insensitive tweet, Ethan Klein quietly unfollowed her on Twitter, which caused Frogan to have a giant meltdown.
Yep, that's a Nicholas Diorio point. The same starting point and everything. Yeah, I see you. I figured you keep up with the commentary community like I do if you're doing your own content cop. Well, you found your new niche, bud. Don't worry, I'm right behind you. I'm gonna have one coming too. Maybe I shouldn't call it content cop. I'll let him have that one. Maybe I'll do the content deputies. I don't know, we'll figure it out.
She started tweeting a bunch of shit and crashing out on Discord and went on stream and started throwing shots at Ethan Klein.
If you are so fucking close-minded that you can imagine that the suffering of an Israeli person is valid, then you're lost. And the same goes for Israelis. And again, I say this to them blue in the fucking face.
Bro,
It's not wrong to think that a terrorist attack against an innocent group of people is gross, especially while acknowledging the many problems with the Israeli government. This would just cause a shit-slinging match between Ethan and Frogan, and before we go further, we need to introduce our next character. Enter iDubbbz! She is a much more popular Hassan waiting room, and for whatever reason gets a lot more attention than Frogan.
I can't imagine what that reason would be. Maybe it's one of her massive streaming personalities. Or both of them.
Which I'm sure has everything to do with her riveting, groundbreaking commentary.
Even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15. You have maybe 1 or 2 memories. The average age of adults' earliest memories is 3.5 years old.
Where's the reboot for her as she disproves herself on stream? Self-own. Where's the little, you know, fucking 56K modem sound for her? I think they should add that as a sound effect whenever you're connecting to modern day internet, just for nostalgia's sake. It won't mean anything. It'll just be an audio file that plays, but it would be dope. Maybe there's a way I can set that up.
You're not really forming memories at 3.
A group including iDubbbz and Frogan hosted a panel at TwitchCon where they created a racial tier list. At the top you had Arab and at the bottom you had Love Sabra. And if you know what Sabra actually means, not the hummus, then you'll understand why it comes off as racist. I wonder who appeared in that tier list.
This person is one of my favorite people, Ethan Klein.
I told you guys to clap.
You guys are missing a category for Zionist.
Well, obviously it's Love Sabra.
And Zionist is their cheat code for Jew. So I think we all get what's being said here.
Right?
Yeah,
it has to be.
That's easy. That's
Now let me introduce the top of this little pyramid scheme we got going on.
And then they outright say it. Obviously, we don't have a category for Zionist, which AKA means Jew, because there's a, there's already a category for Love Sabra. So obviously that's what that means. Yeah, like they just flat out spell it out for you.
On here, Hassan Piker. If you'd like a more in-depth history on Hassan, I'd recommend watching this video by June the King. It goes way more in-depth into Hassan than I'm willing to go into today, and the link will be in the description. To briefly summarize Hassan's content, he's an extreme leftist political streamer with breathtaking boots-on-the-ground coverage.
We did it successfully. We stopped Vladimir Putin from invading Ukraine. Or maybe that was never gonna fucking happen! Like I said, it was never gonna fucking happen! They'll be like, tomorrow, there's a war tomorrow. There's a war tomorrow. And the tomorrow never comes. And when there's no war tomorrow, they're like, you're lying. You're fucking lying, dude. It's gonna happen.
He's also grade A at taking credit.
And then it happened, and he tried to act like he never said that, because that's what they do. They love to rewrite history in real time. Masters of gaslighting, this group. He says with sarcasm.
I believe you've done a couple videos about how dog shit I am, I think.
Did you watch the videos?
No, of course not. I have a policy of not really watching videos such as that one, specifically because it will frustrate me.
I've gotten numb to the criticism. Like, it's not. As a matter of fact, I seek it out now.
You want to debate about a video you didn't even watch?
Why? Yeah, of course.
And he also has this quirk of blaming everything or assuming everyone who disagrees with him has ties to the disgraced political streamer Destiny.
It's 100% like fucking rabid Destiny fans, dude.
It's quite the strange deflection considering he fits that category perfectly. He's also known for deflecting criticism by blaming the genocide in Gaza.
Go fucking yell at streamers for not covering sufficiently the ongoing active genocide in Gaza instead of coming in here and fucking chirping at me.
But the main
genocide. Oh my god. They loved it. Like, that's one of those words that they've used so much, it's lost all meaning.
Takeaway is Hassan is a socialist grifter and a walking example of a hypocrite down to his lifestyle and actions. Our next character isn't necessarily a friend of iDubbbz, as far as we know at least, but he is a central figure to this situation. Bad Empanada is a psychopath that nobody, including Hassan, likes.
I'm never gonna watch a Bad Empanada video on the stream. I'm just letting you guys know.
Until it agrees with me, and then he did, yeah.
You're out of your fucking mind.
You'll notice there's a running theme with that throughout all of the characters in our current content cop.
okay? You think I want him to write like 700 hours worth of new YouTube essays about how I have wronged him? I don't want that. I don't want that at all, okay? He would perhaps benefit tremendously if I did watch his YouTube videos on this channel, but I'm never gonna fucking do that. I have an official blockade on Bad Empanada videos on this broadcast while I'm live. That's number one. And number two, he's not just mean on Twitter. He is a psychopath. He is not just mean on Twitter. He is the most insane person on Twitter.
Yeah, see, when he doesn't like you is when he's being honest. Everything he's saying now is his honest take on Bad Empanada. And then everything that he says now is the lie. Because Bad Empanada's agreeing with him. So he needs to hide behind his content to say the things that he doesn't want to say. So he can go, I didn't say it, Bad Empanada did. Bad Emma Panda. God, put that clip in here. Please tell me that clip is in here.
Twitter.
That is until Bad Empanada started going batshit crazy towards Ethan Klein. Then Hassan and his orbiters started peddling him constantly.
Oh, dude.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, critical support to Bad Empanada has gone up by wide margins now, okay? Oh, dude, Bad Empanada went from bad to good Empanada. Bad Empanada went from Bad Empanada to based Empanada.
To show a really easy example of why Bad Empanada is a psychopath, here's a clip of him playing a game looking to shoot and kill IDF secretaries. For those who don't know, Israeli-born citizens are required to do mandatory IDF military service, including Ethan's wife, Hila, who was a secretary.
I'd like to pay tribute to Ethan Klein and the new Twitch TOS that declares Zionism. Zion is the slur. I'd like to pay tribute to him by playing the first in Al-Aqsa video game where you kill Zionist soldiers as a Palestinian resistance fighter, which is the glider level. And is the Israeli army a bunch of Ethan Kleins? Like, they're all on a fucking Ozempic.
This is the first time I've seen it without the footage blurred. Like, everybody else who shows it blurs the footage. This guy is just like, no fucks given. Good for you, Cameron. Yeah, because that's what he did. He just cosplayed and used that as a way to attack Ethan and his wife.
Binge, they don't understand what's going on around them. They haven't noticed me. Where do they keep the secretaries? In here? I'm hunting for secretaries right now. Secretary got...
Another example of this guy just being a fucking peach is when he used out-of-context clips to paint some narrative that Ethan and Hila's children were contracting giardia and other unknown diseases from eating dog shit and trying to paint Ethan and Hila as bad parents. Oh, and of course Denim's reacted to it and promoted the idea of CPS being called through her chat.
Covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit. I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something.
And CPS did end up getting called, which Bad Empanada tried to take credit for. For the sake of this video, I'm just going to list everything else on screen that he's done. Just take a look if you're interested. This final character is also a big part of the dominoes falling between iDubbbz and Ethan. It's iDubbbz's former editor, Froggy Tonic. Not to be confused with the fighter who was kicked off Creator Clash 2, Froggy Fresh. The reason this guy's relevant is because he kept tweeting heinous shit towards Ethan and Hila, as you can see on screen, all the while Ian and Anissa were openly and publicly interacting with him.
What the hell is this?
Is that her last name?
He's taken her last name.
Testing. Hassan's Piker. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Pussy. Testing. Hello, everyone. Henry Handjob reporting live on the scene.
Oh my God. Well done, Kevin. Well done.
As you can see behind me, we have the woods where it's believed disgraced former detective Ian Jamha is residing. We have some major breaking news that he has been identified as a suspect for content uniform malpractice, otherwise known as cum by professionals.
All right, that's a good bit. Referencing the fact that he's misused the content cop outfit as content uniform malpractice, otherwise known as cum. That's good. That's good. All right, I'm on board, man. You just earned a sub, bud.
Other members of this gang, Socialist Griftorio, is known as Hassan Piker and who can only be described as Grimace from McDonald's. Back to you, Margaret.
iDubbbz is very spineless. Along with his hypocritical nature, iDubbbz was too much of a pussy to piss off his new friends instead of defending his close friend of nearly 9 years who was being harassed. Harley Morenstein of Epic Mealtime recently did an interview where he talks about how he defended Ian and Anissa back during Creator Clash 2. It feels like these are the types of things that you normally do for friends. Of course, the friend I'm talking about is H3H3.
Yeah, even though he knew it was failing, he defended him anyway. Amazing how that works. Damn it.
Productions. Ethan and Hila were constantly defending iDubbbz to a fault, I would even argue. You can argue it's fair to say that maybe they didn't want to get involved, and that's fine. But what's not fine is ignoring your friends after they ask you to denounce the egregious behavior of someone who at one point represented you and is currently being signal boosted by you. The clip I'm about—
Yeah, everybody acts like Ethan asked them to do something like off the wall or out there and he was asking too much and they wanted to stay out of it, but he just wouldn't leave them alone. All he wanted them to do was tell the truth. To say that calling CPS on my friends is unacceptable, no, their house isn't covered with shit. Like, that's it. Like, he's not asking you to, like, make content cop videos or to go overboard. Just, when people bring it up to you, because they will, just tell the truth. That's all he wanted. Which I don't think is unreasonable.
to show you is from the episode Snark Called Child Protective Services on Us.
If you want to hang out with those people and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know,
yeah. Which
she's
I'll show.
friends with
Denims is
Denim.
actually participating in this whole child protective service lie. Child protective service is even the worst thing. I mean, she's said worse things about you and me. I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that. The last thing I said to Anissa, we were texting before I ever talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Anissa, Ian's wife, never responded. And what's hilarious about this whole thing is when Frogan was crashing out on stream about Ethan unfollowing her, Anissa was in her chat comforting her, saying, he'll realize what he's saying isn't the best in a week or so. The cowardice behavior continued until it became pretty clear that iDubbbz probably agreed with what Froggy Tonic was saying, as he talked about it on his podcast.
Ethan's upset with I think some of our connections.
No, Ian, it's not your connections. It's people you openly call friends. More on this later. But what a cop-out way to phrase this.
We want to stay out of the drama as much as possible. We don't want to pile on.
Oh, is that so?
I had a lot of friends when I did my apology that did not fuck with it in the slightest.
Yeah, they didn't agree.
And they still don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. Your apology.
What's that got to do with Ethan, though? What, are you trying to say that he was one of them? I mean, none of that justifies how you've been acting. None of that justifies, like, not just telling the truth.
Apology was pretty useless and dumb. And although he's made some slop, I think Moist Critical had a pretty good take on the apology, which I agree with. I'll link the video in the description as well.
Don't agree with it. And I don't really expect them to come to bat for me or anything if they don't agree with it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't expect them to speak up, period, on any of it.
I appreciate that they don't.
Right here is the core of why I'm showing you this clip. He doesn't agree or doesn't care about what's happening to Ethan and Hila. Maybe he just disagrees with some take that Ethan has on the conflict, like that there should be a two-state solution or that Hamas terrorists should also be condemned as well as the Israeli government. I don't know. Maybe there's some behind-the-scenes shit we don't know about. Maybe he doesn't fuck with Ethan calling people out who encourage harassment against him and his family.
I'm sorry to everyone that I made content cop videos on. We want to stay out of the drama. We are friends with Denims. You did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way.
No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
Even when we don't say something, they think we're saying something.
Our silence means
sure.
something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure you...
Yeah, that's the biggest fucking cop-out. Our silence means something until it doesn't. And I want to pause the relationship. That's how relationships work. You're at a crossroads. Pick a side, and you chose yours. They suspected that you were going to do what you did, and that's why they called you out. And then you want to attack them and be like, we just want to stay out of it. And then you immediately do the thing that they call you out for, proving them right.
So on this one, close your head to the dryer.
All right.
Where you at, John?
We hit it again tomorrow if you want.
Yeah, Stingray.
Yeah.
Turns out
Hey,
Detective Washburn is no good.
fingers crossed.
We're looking for a police impersonator.
You won't have
Oh, no, I
PC
should
issues.
Yeah, it should be good. All right. Later, man.
Hopefully mine will be back. All right.
All right. Back to the skits.
This is Bernie Pegasus. Do you come? Stingray, do you come?
Do you come? What? So many little jokes in here. Oh, this is what it feels like to be entertained by a content cop again.
Sir, have you seen this suspect? No. Just calm down, son. It's just a drawing.
That's good.
Has anybody seen this man?
Have you guys seen this man? Seen this man?
Is he asking real people? Calm down, this is Jordan.
Now, folks, there's a new sheriff in town. Now let's get down to why we're here.
That's the tagline I used for the stream. We're on the same page.
My lieutenant just informed me that there's police impersonation afoot, and I gotta bring him to justice. Ian recently uploaded a Chon Chen Top on H3. Remember my first point?
I'm sorry to everyone that I made content cop videos on. You did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way.
Yeah, Ian, you're a hypocrite. Hypocrisy aside, like his other more recent content, I'd like to talk about just how bad this video is. This isn't a content cop. His Cart Narcs video, as bad as it was...
Yeah, it's iDubbbz complains in disguise. Okay? Alright, he bait and switched everybody.
Was more of a content cop in this video. This is like an iDubbbz complains. It's a shitty video about his personal feelings on H3. It's poorly edited, it makes horrible points, it's not funny, and again, it just feels soulless. But despite all of this, it's still his best performing video in 3 years.
What's up, everybody?
That's a trick he can only play once. That's a card he can only pull once. The invoking the content cop name to get instant views because everybody's going to come back to be like, it's back, it's back. Yeah, you can only reboot that franchise once, and now people know what to expect. The next time you do a content cop, it won't get these views. I promise you it will not. This was a one and done thing. You had one chance to recapture an audience and to get those millions of views and turn them into something, and you managed to turn them into, I guess, your humiliation fetish as you self-flagellate for, 30 minutes in a video and force everybody to watch because they think it's a content cop. That's a trick that won't work a second time.
I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the Hassan broadcast coming to you live from a cloudy day here in California, Los Angeles. We're live and alive, and I hope...
And just like that, the 1 minute and 30 seconds of hope that we had for this video is lost. The video immediately derails.
What the fuck was that edit?
With this person's inclusion. Kevin. Okay, this video sucks. What are you doing? This is not it. No.
He even adds live react content as part of his content cop. This is a man after my own heart. Think I might have my new internet waifu here. I'm a fan, Cameron. Let's fucking go, bud.
Oh, denims? No! No! Mr. Beast!
Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan.
The dumb skit aside, this feels like more of a taunt than anything. I'm not sure how this is going to prevent harassment against your close friend, as you say you're so morally against.
We don't condone harassment of
We don't.
any kind.
Because the key part that he's leaving out here, and I'm wondering if maybe he'll address it. Again, I'm going in completely blind to this. The key part he's leaving out here is that they don't consider anything that's happened, just like Denims and Frogan and Hassan and that whole crew, they don't consider anything that's happened to Ethan or Gila since they started attacking them or criticizing them or whatever you want to call it. They don't consider any of that harassment. If you ask them, they say you're not being harassed. That it's all in your head. Like it's all gaslighting. So this just gets added to that pile.
Condone harassment of any kind.
Cameron, we're all here to see you lampoon the skit. Please, Cameron. There isn't much I can say regarding the skit that hasn't already been said itself. I'm sure you want me to make fun of it further. Yeah, the Fortnite dance was retarded. Sorry, oh, a token. This just isn't a funny sketch. And what
a token? I would have used the South Park meme there, but that's good too.
Baffles me the most about this is that in the past, Ian has made impactful and funny sketches that improved the overall video, but this just falls flat.
If I would imagine this in 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me losing the plot, it's Ethan.
No, dumbass, it's you, and that fact has become very apparent over the past couple of years. Quite honestly, I should have known that the second you decided any of those tattoos that make you look like a reformed skinhead looked good to you. Maybe it was the LASIK surgery that went a little too deep into your eyes and melted your brain. Maybe Sam Hyde kicked you too hard.
Oh, yeah, Sam Hyde broke this man. That is so apparent at this point. Ethan called it correct. Not that you needed Ethan to call it at all because it was insanely obvious. Sam Hyde broke this man.
Cameron, please stop being a cyberbelly.
I would say that Hassan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
Yeah, Hassan has the political know-how, the same guy who before this conflict couldn't even locate Yemen on a map.
Doesn't know where Yemen is?
All right, I'll go ahead and address the cope now because I don't know if he's going to do it in this video or not. But Hassan's new narrative on that is, oh, that was all a bit. He was pretending not to know. It was all a joke. Ha ha, joke's on you. Ah, you fell for it. Ah, I don't think he really knew. Didn't feel like a joke to me. But, you know, sure, I guess I'll let you guys decide on that one. There's no way to prove or disprove that he was personally joking. I think it's bullshit, or he'd have said that immediately. He wouldn't have waited this long to say it. But, okay, whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna click close. I'm closing it. I'm closing it. I think nope.
Hassan was very well equipped.
Nope. Got it. We stopped Vladimir Putin.
I mean, in his defense, it is funny. I just don't think it was a joke.
From invading Ukraine. Or maybe that was never gonna fucking happen, like I said!
What kind of humiliation ritual is this video? You fucking moron.
Nation says,
play the clip where he talks about, I don't know, this might have been made before that came out. God, if he'd have waited a little bit longer to do this, like so much extra content has come out, where Hassan is addressing someone else, but he's got iDubbbz literally sitting behind him in the room. And everything he says applies to iDubbbz, where he talks about latching on to other content creators and blah, blah, blah. And the minute that you don't agree with them, they're going to turn on you and you're nothing but a cuck. And he's saying all of these things. And you can see in real time in iDubbbz's face that he realizes, oh, all of this applies to what I've done. Like you could see it in his face and his smile just fades away and he just... that realization that he's in too deep, but you know, you gotta stick to the script now. It's too late to back out now.
Is that may be a war crime. It literally is.
I was just eating the toppings, and the pizza looked like a burn victim. It was all disgusting.
It's very clear to anyone with a functioning brain how this kind of editing could easily be used maliciously. And this type of malicious editing plagues this video. There's plenty of times in this video where cut context is intentionally left out. Ethan actually already responded to this edit directly, showing that he was making commentary on the conflict at the time, as you can see.
He is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them. His wife's Israeli. She served in the IDF. He obviously likes the state of Israel.
No, he's not. He's on numerous occasions called out the Israeli government and the IDF.
The Israel government is fucking
Yeah, but they don't see a difference between like Israel and Gaza. Look, even I'm a complete fucking retard when it comes to politics, and I know there's a difference between those two. And it's very obvious that Ethan was talking about Israel proper and not Gaza, which he clarifies for you, and you chose to ignore.
Barbaric, genocidal freaks. and I hate them.
I can't even begin to talk about how fucking bad faith it is, not to mention that Gila's military service was mandatory. It's not like she was psyched to serve in the IDF.
They follow Hassan. Hassan is strictly a political streamer.
No, he isn't. Half of his streams are just him eating and watching Skibbity Toilet. Throughout most of this video, Ian's points fall very flat. There are many occasions where he shows clips of Ethan that...
All right, I'll take a point away from him there. He does have a lot of filler content on his streams, but he's primarily known as and listed as a political pundit, as a political streamer. That is absolutely what he is. That's what his content falls under. Like, you can't take that away from him. Look, sucking at his job doesn't make it not his job.
That have nothing to do with the point he's trying to make and make Ian look really stupid. For example,
so when they see Ethan say things that are just like not accurate and it's just propaganda, they're gonna call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
In what way is that propaganda? The river to the sea, that's the whole thing. It's extremely reasonable to understand why people rightfully believe that.
The other day, BB fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
In his past,
which they apologize for this because they spoke out of turn. It happens. They're not perfect. And it's not like they don't misspeak all the time. I mean, Frogan tried to claim that that she hopes that veterans get PTSD, that was a misspeak. Even though she said it multiple times and laughed about it while saying it. It was a misspeak.
past content cop videos, there was kind of this unspoken rule that Ian was kind of against criticizing people for things that they've taken accountability for. So the malicious use of this clip is pretty sour. Hila misspoke, apologized, then took a break from the podcast after clarifying. What's the problem?
He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims. And Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful fucking... And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people, oh no.
Bitch. Don't worry, Ethan, I got you. Ian pulled all of these clips out of context to make Ethan look like...
I like this kid's just like not pulling any punches, that he's just willing to say all of the bad things.
He was just attacking people without reason. Matt Lieb unprovokedly attacked Ethan Klein on his podcast, then platformed Bad Empanada. Frogan, as I said earlier, crashed out over Ethan silently unfollowing her on Twitter. And this last clip was a stream called My War on Snark, which was the second stream after the CPS incident. Ethan was calling out Denims for platforming Bad Empanada by showing and promoting his video where he falsely claims that Ethan and Hila's house was covered in dog shit and that the children were walking around eating the dog shit, which led to a false CPS report that Ethan's family had to deal with. Wow, with that context, it seems perfectly reasonable why Ethan would be upset at these people. Before we continue, I want to make it perfectly clear that I do not believe that following someone on...
For a second there, I thought he already had a sponsor. I thought he was going to be like, I want to thank my sponsor. And I was like, no way, this kid already has a sponsor.
social media equals the endorsement of that person. I myself follow several people that I disagree with and or dislike. However, Ian seems to be trying to weaponize this argument into something that it is not. In this part of the video, Ian is talking about his former editor, Froggy Tonic.
Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she's like a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit. And that's showing up right up on us Nisa's and iDubbbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
You don't know what's on my feed. What the fuck is happening? For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all
He said what's on his feed before, by the way. I'm wondering if they kid will address this. He's not only said it, but you could tell by the content he engages with and the way he talks, it's pretty easy to determine what's on his feed.
For all you know, I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty.
For all we know, what do you mean we do know? Anissa was literally engaging with him throughout all of this, but besides that, you literally confirm it yourself.
Okay, he does
I
address
used to
it.
work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that. You don't know what's on my feed. I'm not gonna retweet it or like it. Now, my former editor of a year and a half ago, what the fuck is happening? Really mean shit.
This contradiction makes this entire point fall flat very quickly, and it's honestly pathetic how little effort went into making this video.
He called Hila the C word.
It blows my mind that they can outright contradict themselves in the same video. So you don't even have to like go like Like, you don't even have the plausible deniability of, oh, I didn't know he said that in the past, or have it pointed out to you. But it's right there in front of you, and people will still choose to ignore it. Like, I do not understand the denial of reality that these people have when they attack Ethan. Anytime I do a video on Ethan, which I wouldn't call myself a fan of either one of these creators. I was 10 years ago. But Ethan started his podcast. I stopped watching him then. I liked the H3 videos. I didn't like the podcast. I occasionally check in to watch his interview with a celebrity. Didn't watch any of Leftovers. Didn't watch any of Frenemies. Don't care about Trisha Paytas. Don't care about any of that. And I would occasionally see his controversies. But comparing that to what iDubbbz has done, where he goes on his apology tour, and it's just been this self-flagellation, humiliation ritual that he's done ever since. He is still punishing himself for Content Cop while actively making another one. Like, the blatant hypocrisy with them. Like, the only credit I can give to Ethan over iDubbbz, and the reason why I tend to agree with him more, is his story hasn't changed. I think he's just a regular guy being honest. Look, and I'm not talking about their politics here. I don't know anything about politics, and I'm not going to address politics. Anytime I reference Ethan or iDubbbz, or anyone in this circle, I am not talking about their politics. I do not care about politics. Don't ask me about Israel. Don't ask me about Palestine. Don't ask me about where they are on a map. I don't fucking know. I don't know anything about the Middle East. I don't care which one wins. As far as I'm concerned, you can just stick a big ass bucket of fucking weaponry in the middle of them, just this big ass mass pile of weaponry, and whichever one gets to it first wins. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care about that. But what I do care about is the reason I like dipped my toe back in this water is because the minute you start, I have children too. The minute you start going after somebody's kids, after you give all those speeches about children, and the minute you start doing serial killer shit, like sending human fucking remains to someone's house, and just watching the denial of reality as people try to do these fucking mental gymnastics to justify it. They've been in my comment section. They'll probably be in the comments of this video too. Yeah, well, Ethan, blah, blah, blah. There's literally nothing that anyone can do on the internet, nothing anyone can say that would justify those kinds of real world actions. Keep internet beef on the fucking internet. The minute you cross that line, you're the bad guy. Sorry, that's how it works. And then watching him try to navigate people like denying reality and try to tell them that the thing they saw wasn't the thing they saw. I've seen people try to claim that he mailed the skulls to himself, like the conspiracy theories that come out. It's fucking wild. Like the blatant hypocrisy. And these are all the same people who will attack the MAGA guys for blindly following Trump. Well, you're doing the same fucking shit. Like, it's mind-numbingly stupid. I think it's mind-numbingly stupid when the MAGA people do it, and that's half my fucking family. And I think it's also stupid when you assholes do it. And apparently, that's half the fucking people online. I can't believe that there were this many people that look at the blatant stuff that this kid's putting in his video, just looking at things as they happened and going, that ain't what happened. What? But we're watching the same fucking video. How do you not see what I see? I mean, it's not even like I have to interpret it. He fucking says it. Like, we're just watching the content, man. I feel like you're trying to convince the internet that water ain't wet. Like, it's like this level of manipulation and gaslighting is so petty and so obvious that I don't even respond when I have the comments anymore. It's so like, it's brain rot. It's why that term exists. Like, you guys have been straight up brainwashed over a conflict. Most of Hassan's fans, most of the people out here defending this conflict have just as much a tie to that country and that conflict as I do, which is to say, none. I don't know anybody that lives over there. I'm not related to anybody that lives over there. I'm not married to anybody that lives over there. I'm never fucking gonna go over there. It's got nothing to do with me, so I'm staying the fuck out of it. And they should too.
He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure.
A bunch of other shit? You barely scratched the surface. Oh, boo-hoo, he called someone the C word. What did he actually say, Ian?
Who the fuck is the person on the Reddit who's posting this in the first place? If you do a little bit of research, it seems like it's an account whose intention is to make Ethan crash out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out. They're like, I've seen this account before.
Baba Booey.
What the hell happened to you, Ian? You went from well-researched videos to crediting snark subreddits to make your point. The cherry on top is the person who made this post apparently isn't even the same dude the snark is talking about.
Also, and I know you say it a lot as a way to try to be like, this isn't a valid source. All of those people also think snark is a valid source. They, like, Hassan, make no mistake, Hassan's fans, well, I guess now iDubbbz fans, are the snarkers. They are one and the same. A lot of them.
And this was found out less than an hour after this video's release.
Fucking the Gaza Strip, whatever it might be, I'll talk about it, no matter how ignorant of the facts I am. That's one very important thing to keep in mind, guys. I'm not a researcher. I'm a dipshit.
Also, I think Ian has just ruined the word crash out for me. He calls Ethan's behavior crashing out on the stream where he talks about CPS getting called on his kids.
Just like I'm not gonna throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
Calls it a parasocial weird crash out in the beginning, and then later justifies his actions by saying, I understand, CPS was just calling on your house and this was the podcast the next day and you were emotional and blah blah blah. Oh, okay, so which is it? Is it excusable because he's emotional and it's not a crash out, it's justified, or is it an unwarranted crash out and he's overreacting? Like it can't fucking be both, man.
This is a point Ethan responded to in his latest video where he also reveals that 2 human skulls were sent to his house. If that's a crash out, it's a reasonable crash out.
I've stood by them.
Yep, thank you.
When all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional.
I don't entirely disagree with this point. Yeah, it's not cool to have an ultimatum, transactional type of relationship. However, wouldn't that make you a hypocrite, Ian? You give him a lot of ultimatums in this video.
It means that we would
True.
like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out. Maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship.
Aren't you kind of doing the same thing?
I thought the
Not kind of. He absolutely is. That was pretty cut and dry right there. Well, I guess he did say maybe. Meaning that if you want a chance at getting me back, you have to do this first. And then maybe I'll take you back. I haven't decided yet. It's, oh, God, yeah, it's a manipulation tactic. Girls do it. Guys do it. It's usually found in relationships, so finding it like this is weird, but yeah, it's a manipulation tactic.
Text conversation that I had with him was very empathetic. I basically just
my
said,
empathy
like,
meter's
I know
only
you and
maybe
Hila
like
are
a quarter of the way filled up.
And I essentially empathize with that.
Ah, yes. Ian, the moral arbiter of empathy. I'm glad you filled up your empathy meter a little bit more before making this fucking hit piece.
Adam McIntyre needs to just like disappear. That guy is a piece of shit, like of the lowest order. I never even stood by him when he talked bad about Trisha having a kid and called him like the spawn of Satan.
They never made a statement. They never said that they disagree with his statements about Trisha's baby until it's useful. And what it sounds
Kind of like all the shit you're doing in this content cop.
like to me is
Rules for thee, but not for me.
that you did see it at the time and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it and you didn't fuck with it. Huh. It's almost like that is a fucking identical situation to me.
Yo, is this person fucking retarded?
Yes.
This situation isn't near identical in any way.
That's fucking at it, dude. No, it's not identical. The mental gymnastics being done here to equivocate the two is wild.
H3 and Trisha weren't close or even friends at the time of this happening. They had no...
It was literally named frenemies. They have a love-hate relationship. They both love to hate each other and agreed to make content together. They literally weren't friends. It's in the name.
No reason to publicly stand on anything, nor were they asked to. When they asked you to denounce the crazy shit your former editor was saying, you guys ignored them.
Because they're trying to like paint themselves as the good guys. And they're saying like, yeah, we strongly disavow things that are said, even about our enemies. We are the most immoral people on the internet. Unlike Ian and Anissa, who are fucking keeping to themselves.
What a fucking liar, dude.
But you guys
Yes!
weren't staying silent,
The
dude.
clip!
You made a tweet joking about the situation. Anissa was out there in Frogan's chat after the whole Twitter incident, and then you went out to make a statement about it on your podcast. If you were trying...
Yeah, you were quiet about it. You so definitely weren't. You wouldn't shut up. Just because you weren't making videos on it doesn't mean you weren't talking about it. Those tweets were public, jackass.
to stay silent, you did a pretty fucking awful job.
Some people call it like a lol cow.
I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anissa is half Lebanese and half Irish.
That's awfully convenient. What, Anissa's half Lebanese? Well, it turns out she might not be, according to Yoko Ono herself. I'm actually like 50% Irish. I peed on myself in the shower. No,
Wait, so 50% Irish, 50% Lebanese, and 50%. Wait, so it's 50, 50, and 50. Maybe she's pregnant.
been peed on. 45% Italian, 8% Arab. Now, maybe let's give her the benefit of the doubt, despite the fact she constantly talks about her heritage. Let's say iDubbbz is just being hyperbolic. It's still quite a stretch to add 42% of your heritage to something and call it half. Keemstar is more black than Anissa is Lebanese. Shout out to Nicholas Diorio.
For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving
He's fast as fuck, boy. That's how you know he's half black. I'll stop.
end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So Anissa is very well familiar.
While this is true, this feels like a weird and unnecessary oppression tug of war. And do I have to state the obvious here, that Ethan and Hila are both Jews? I know this is a deep cut, Ian. You may have never heard of this, but like, I think around 6 million Jews were genocided in this little obscure thing known as the Holocaust. Huh. I wonder what Anissa's take is on that.
That's a really hard question, and I think if people are being 100% honest, they'd give you a different answer than what you're expecting. As terrible as the Holocaust was, obviously it was horrendous, and how disgusting the doctor was that did the experiments on.
She's not about to justify the Holocaust, is she? I mean, starting with the as terrible as it was, it also blah blah. Like she's not about to say literally anything good came from the Holocaust. Because it didn't. It factually didn't. Nothing good came from that.
Gay people, handicaps, twins. I think that's, and obviously, they were obviously Jewish. Or they did it on Jewish people.
Where the fuck is she going with this?
They found a couple of really groundbreaking discoveries through that experiment.
No, they did not. That is a myth. There's zero factual proof behind any of that. None of their experiments led to anything good. They just didn't. Their experiments were just torture. That's a fact that's been debunked multiple times. Holy shit. She is about to justify the fucking Holocaust. Or at least say it wasn't all bad. So we're doing white supremacist talking points now. That's great. And this is the good guy. These are the ones that you know everyone's on the side of. You know, no, not the Jewish guy. It's these guys because they're right. They're not wrong. They're not victimizing anybody. Ethan and Hila are just gaslighting you. These guys though. These guys are right. What?
You caught us. We're not gonna run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people. We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
Ooh. Yeah, Ian? Oh.
Yes, make fun of the terrible joke, because I did, and I think everyone did, because that's like the only thing close to a joke in that entire fucking content copy. It was terrible. Just terrible.
How long did it take you to come up with that one, buddy? It's very malicious the way that this is phrased, as if Ethan and Hila actually care about who Ian is following on Twitter. It's the people you guys claim to be friends with openly.
Spineless, I'm cowardly, because I am following someone on Twitter Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are friends with Denims.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know.
In her chat,
Yeah.
which I'll
she's
show.
friends with
Denims is
Denim.
actually participating in this whole child protective service lie.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start talking about this Denims character. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person like we think Ethan and Hila are good people.
H3 is clearly upset that Ian...
So you don't think she's a good person? Just like you didn't think they were a good person? See why the things you say get confused? Because you keep contradicting yourself? Weird.
is admittedly friends with Denims. Denims openly promoted the idea that Ethan and Hila are bad parents and their kids are walking around in shit and eating shit and catching diseases. She then justified everything after CPS was called on H3 and is a terror-supporting rape denier who's yet to apologize for anything. Other than the CPS thing, which was barely an apology and it was made after the content cop. So yes, Ian, I question anyone who chooses to be friends with Denims or would openly call her a good person. You also gotta love this revisionist history, the same level of friendship.
I'm friendly with you, and I'd say I'm a light friend.
You guys were friends for
Yeah, like he even changes the framing of their relationship multiple times during that content cop, which I'm sure Cameron, because it looks like he has covered his bases. Again, good job, Cameron. I'm pretty sure that he'll cover that because he changes the framing of their relationship several times in that same video. They're light friends, then they're acquaintances, then they're basically coworkers because all they did was make content together. Yeah, like he just, as the video goes on, he further and further and further downplays the relationship that they've had for the better part of a fucking decade.
Nearly 9 years. You've called Ethan and Hila inspirations. You've met his family, and now he's just a light friend? By the end of this video, what are you going to call him? An acquaintance? Another internet?
There we go. Yeah, he's getting to it. He's getting to it because that will happen by the end of this video. He's going to do a callback. That's going to be at the end of the video. Ah, this is well written. This is good stuff, Cameron. Good stuff.
Creator?
Yeah, we've been respecting you as independent content creators.
Yes.
I don't know. I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, his feelings are hurt. Yeah, that's what this is about. That's what this is really about.
Now, so it's about you.
He's like, I don't care about this guy. He's a nobody, and you know, blah blah blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty. Well, then, you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Why'd you give him a pseudo-British accent? That's not how he talks. Oh, because you would look like a shitty person if you made fun of his Tourette's, so you have to make him sound like an evil supervillain. Nothing he said was that wild. Like, the accent's on, like, the accent, even the evil accent doesn't make it sound evil. It was a reasonable request.
Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like
Yes. Yes, it does.
something a powerful villain would say.
You guys literally called Froggy Tonic a nobody. Yeah, I'd assume you'd have no problem denouncing him either if that's actually how you feel.
Would it have been nicer and more support?
He basically just called your bluff and wanted some support. It's not really a villainous thing. It's like, cool, so since you agree with us, do you mind saying that publicly to help us out? Not an unreasonable request, especially between two content creators whose entire lives and content and, you know, careers has been online, public.
Supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Hila? Sure.
Ah, holy shit, dude. That's all you had to fucking say, dude. Instead, you're wasting time, money, and a close friendship on a hit piece so you don't piss off your new friends. You look extremely pathetic, Ian.
Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out. And then maybe we can find a moment in time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach.
That will never happen. You have burnt the bridge for this friendship and nuked the island on the other side. It's done. You guys will never work together again. There will never be any more crossover content. You will never be friends again. You cannot have it both ways. You can't choose to do everything you've done to, you know, to win over Hassan and think that there's still a way you can leave a back door open to return back to Ethan later. That's done. It's over.
Oh, excuse me. I was just talking to the Silence Through Witchcraft. I didn't hear anything about...
Another Nicholas DeOrio bit. I'm liking the content cop, but it is starting to feel like Nicholas DeOrio co-wrote it here, bud. A few more original jokes. I do appreciate the Nicholas DeOrio references. I am a fan. But don't overdo it on your first vid. Save some for later.
About you wanting to pause the relationship, though. What I heard was that you let Hassan fuck your girlfriend while you watched. Not sure. Maybe I'm getting a bad read. Hold on.
I would have been perfectly fine.
You might want to watch your hand movements there, buddy. You keep doing it, dude. You need to stop. You're getting really close with that hand movement. Don't flip your arm over, man.
And I support.
Also, the smoke alarm, that's the sound effects he's adding. That's not in his real house. That is definitely something that he's also gotten from Nick, because Nick did that during the Shelbo bit. I mean, it's a good bit, and that's a good callback. That's a good way to reference Nick without being so obvious. A lot of Nick references here, though. I'm new here, but I don't exactly agree with what you say, how you present your views. But I want to listen to the different side, even the debate recently. Well, give your side. I mean, if you don't agree with something, that's fine. I'm all for talking. I mean, you can tell me why you don't agree. We can hash it out. If I've missed something, feel free to fill me in. I haven't seen all of the content. I would love some added context. If you have a disagreement with me and you've got a valid reason behind what you say and you can show me what I've gotten wrong, by all means, feel free to link in chat.
For Ethan and Hila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
She actually
She thinks they have a point.
That's the problem.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Go fuck yourself. What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This aggression.
No, Ian. Go fuck yourself is right. They're right. You do agree. You've made that very clear. That's why they're saying that. That's their decision. Also, what do you mean aggression? Look at you.
No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping.
In terms of these fair weather friends who are, so happy to be friends.
Yeah, please tell me how you can interpret that as anything but aggressive. He said the man needs an ass whooping, and then at the end says that, we should all say something nice about him. Like, he contradicts himself multiple times in this video. It's crazy.
Friends, as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ethan, that is a rich thing to say.
Throughout this video, Ian strictly avoids the core reason as to why Ethan is acting the way he is in these clips. This one piece of context would likely nullify a majority of this video. The episode Ian is pulling clips from is titled "Snark Called Child Protective Services on Us." No.
Yeah, that's a valid piece of context that he left out, but it's okay because he brought it up in the content deputy, right? Doesn't make this video any better. Like, it doesn't retroactively make this good.
Shit, he's pissed.
This is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are.
Oh, I'm glad Ian's the king of podcasts. He knows what's horrible. He knows what an emotional dumping ground is. And he clearly knows not to do that in podcasts, right? Would you guys like to hear the sweetest bit of hypocrisy?
Explaining to the...
Yes, please. Please, give me more. Feed me the slop. I need it.
People why we started this podcast. For me, that's one of the reasons is it's like, I just need to sometimes dump a little bit, and just being like, all right, I'll dump, I think is that's a satisfying thing for me.
So your podcast is an emotional dumping ground, but when Ethan does it and you don't like what he's dumping about, it's bad.
I realize that Ethan and Hila are more scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel like anti-Semitism is a thought in their heads now more than ever.
You know what? This could have been a valid point, but I gotta say, it was an interesting choice to shave your head before this video. Also, the pose with the sword.
Also, yes, can we address, because I doubt he's going to say what I'm going to say here, so I'm just going to go ahead and can we fucking address that hilt? I'm so sick of it's an inverted swastika. Let me tell you something. About how inversion works, especially on fucking 3D objects. There's no way he didn't see, or none of them saw a swastika there. Because when something is inverted in 3D, that means that one side looks this way and the other side is the reverse. So if you're holding the sword, if the camera sees an inverted swastika, you see the swastika. and vice versa. There's no way someone didn't see a swastika on that sword. That's how inversions work. If you're holding a coin, one of you will always see heads, no matter which side you flip it on. They're two sides of the same coin, quite literally. Also, Hassan has already admitted he doesn't watch Bleach, and it's fairly obvious that it's a swastika sword because he, called it a swastika sword himself. But yeah, I just wanted to address the 3D part of it. And the fact that everyone who defends it won't put it on a t-shirt. If you really honestly believe it's that innocent and that everyone is overreacting, then put it on a t-shirt and wear that t-shirt in public. Go ahead. Just that hilt, just that part of the hilt. Nothing else on the t-shirt but that. That's it. That's all you need to put on there.
Swordstica? The swastika sword? I don't know, man. That was an interesting choice there, Ian. Sometimes I wonder if you still got it in you.
Say nigga.
I was not expecting that. Holy shit, he found a way to slip in the N-bomb. Well, I'm gonna have to edit that part out just to be on the safe side. But god damn, Cameron's going hard. And he didn't go as hard on the swastika sword as I would, but it's not worth harping on, really. Everything that needs to be said about it needs to be said. It's obvious that they knew what the fuck it was. There's no other way to read that.
Cameroon, you ignorant sloat. That sword is obviously from Bleach.
I don't even know who that guy is.
That's Isaac from Bleach.
Oh, I don't watch Bleach. This one's sicker. Wait, that's a little sus. Immediately goes for the swastika one. Got it.
Maybe you haven't changed.
Yeah. In his mind, that's what it is. You might know it as a Bleach fan, but Hassan didn't. He didn't buy it because it looks dope, because it's a Bleach sword. He thought it looked dope because it was a swastika sword. That's how he saw it. That's what it is in his mind. You have to read it the way that he read it. There's no other way to read that.
So much after all.
Me making this video is the standing up for something, and it's saying, fuck you. You guys are being bad. I don't think you're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly.
Oh, okay, I get it. I'm glad you stood up for the massive political streamer and his lackeys instead of your friend who was being harassed and threatened. What the fuck even is this shit, dude? You're being bad. Bad boy. You're being a bad boy. Who the fuck are you?
I'm not your fucking dad.
You sure try to act like one.
I was morally grandstanding.
True!
Bring it back to Hassan just because, but it kind of is the same thing. Like
I have no disagreements with any part of this segment. He's kind of hit all the notes that I hit, and he's just right.
I was thinking about going to Gaza until I found out it's dangerous. He's a total performative activist that doesn't give a single fuck about the cause.
It's been performed exquisitely. Harassing one person and seamlessly transitioning into harassing another one.
What? He criticizes. Ian, can I get your definition of harassment? Is criticism now harassment? You sound like. Oh. Never mind, my head hurts.
She's friends with iDubbbz. iDubbbz is streaming this story about our kid.
I'll show that, yeah.
Getting Giarda from the dog, whatever.
I'm sorry. I'll accept this position from anyone except you guys. You have laid the groundwork for this type of streaming.
I don't even know the point Ian is trying to make here. Are you trying to say that Ethan pioneered live drama content? Maybe? Are you trying to say
It can be argued that he was kind of the first in the commentary space, and he kind of paved the way for the commentary community with his content cops, that there was nothing like it before him, and everything else has emulated that formula to some extent. But it still doesn't really prove any point or anything, because he's not that same person anymore by his own admission. So yeah, I'm with him. I'm not exactly sure the point he's trying to make.
Say that Ethan pioneered live politics coverage? I don't think so. Are you criticizing Ethan for doing reaction streams? I hope not. Regardless, I'm not getting the iDubbbz comparison, because name me one time where
I'm glad you're okay with reaction streams, bud, because you're gonna get a lot of them from this video, mine included.
Ethan promoted the harassment and misinformation against someone's family. But enough yapping, let's find out what he's talking about.
Which is watching people shit and giving your unfiltered reaction to it.
Ian, you do realize that reaction streams and videos long predated the H3 podcast? I think you should know this more than most. Ian should also know well that not all reaction content is created equally. Sitting there while...
Let's fucking go! A fucking Warzone victory to add to the video. One for the record books. W's in chat. Let's fucking go.
Eating and not adding commentary, or while your brain is malfunctioning in the case of denims, or having your chair watch the video for you is not a reaction. It's content theft. And you should know that adding commentary to a
True.
video that you're watching and transforming it into your own thing is something very different. A reaction streamer can criticize another reaction streamer who's...
Yeah, considering you did an entire content cop on reaction content to specify that you know the difference between reaction content that doesn't transform and reaction content that does. Amazing how, as you've grown as a person, you've forgotten the things you've learned in your youth.
stealing content. Just like a commentary YouTuber can criticize another commentary YouTuber for making bad content.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
They're actually good people, like that's gonna get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog,
You know who would...
Ethan and Hila...
You know who would care about all those things that you just said? The people investigating him for all those things that were said online. The people you guys called on him. CPS would care. And to have your friend of 9 years to point to in a video to be like, anyone who knows us in real life will tell you that the things on the internet that were used to call you aren't true. Those people would care. They would absolutely care.
wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the fucking the prompt is. No one would care.
Don't be naive. You know you would have gotten shit, Ian. Also, what a great way to dodge talking about the CPS situation.
If you can.
Yep.
I just want to ask you if you've always been shitting your pants.
No.
Did he forget this clip existed? Like you're calling out people for oversharing? And the only reason the world knows that you, the grown man who's learned empathy, shits his pants on a regular basis is because your wife said it on stream in front of everybody and you just had to kind of sit there and take it. He must have forgot this clip exists. That or he actually does have a humiliation fetish. It's one of the two.
Because since I've known you...
And yes, I'm well aware of the fact that YouTube keeps fucking up you guys. I don't know why the stream keeps dipping and loading. There's literally nothing I can do about it. I know that YouTube is buffering a lot. The streams are buffering a lot. There's literally nothing I can do for it. All I can tell you is to refresh the video and it should fix it. But if you want to know the things I said when it was cutting in and out, or you want to rewatch this, I will post the VOD later. And the VOD is recorded locally, so it should be completely unaffected by any skips or anything that are happening, because YouTube servers are just throwing me red lights at random right now, and they keep dipping. I don't know how to fix it. My OBS says I'm fine, so I don't know what to do about that.
You've always had like IBS. You've always been shitting yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out.
Well, by your logic, you just made an hour-long video defending Hassan and co. Doesn't that make you Hassan's lapdog?
Yes.
Me making this video is the standing up for something. If you maybe accepted the phone call and we talked about it, you could have asked me, hey, what are your principles?
No fucking shot, dude. No, I don't think Ethan wanted to talk to you about your principles. I think he's got bigger fish to fry right now. Fucking Muppet. Ian then goes on this retarded tangent about friends to the whole follower
I was not expecting British slang from the American mouth. It's funny.
equals endorsement narrative, so I'll spare repeating myself.
Now let's talk about the button. Ethan got this button, or kill switch, as a response to the controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not able to control himself in that moment, and instead of figuring out...
I'll stick to my guns here. I don't think he should have apologized for that at all. I thought it was funny. I thought her reaction to it was overreacting. I thought it was fine. I don't see anything wrong with this. It's not like her actual nudes got leaked. No one saw her real naked body. That never happened. Somebody basically photoshopped her face onto a porn star's body. That's the kind of thing you just ignore or wipe under the rug and don't bring attention to, because then more people are going to look it up, and you just move on. This acting like somebody, personally assaulted you and assaulted your body. It wasn't your body. Like, I don't think he should have apologized for this. It was fine to laugh at that. I fucking did. Before he played the Chestnut song. I don't think what iDubbbz did should and could have been done in a better way. How? I'm gonna need you to elaborate. But that same point, H3H3 could have done the same and more in private. And H3H3 did say a lot more than I think. I'm gonna need you to go into more detail, bud. These generalized statements of, I think it couldn't have been done in a better way. I think what he did was fine, and I think he could have done more. I need you to tell me how you don't see a problem with the obvious contradictions in this video, the obvious hypocrisies he's pointing out. I need you to address what's on the screen. I need you to actually do that. And then you can tell me what. How do you know that H3 didn't say more in private? Like, that's the, like, by definition, you couldn't know that. It's in fucking private. So all you have to go on there, unless somebody wants to leak their DMs, which I believe he showed on screen at one point in time, is he said, she said. And how are they supposed to say more to people that aren't responding to them? Yeah, I'm gonna need more detail here. If we're gonna have a conversation, let's have a conversation. But I need you to actually address points on screen. You were gone for a very long time. I thought you were gonna come back because you said 1 sec. I thought you were coming back with like links and clips and stuff to add context. And then you give me the most generalized statement I think I've ever read in my chat.
Out how he can change his behavior. He spent $20,000.
Now, for whatever reason, Anissa's husband brings up the button.
Sorry, I'm trying. I'm really not that good at texting. There's a Discord link pinned at the top of the chat. Feel free to join. I'm in a voice call right now. We can hash it out if you want.
He goes on this concerned trolling rant about how Ethan refuses to change the behavior and instead uses the button after he did a goof plus a spoof plus a gaff plus a riot while watching a video of QT Cinderella crying.
I also see the
Something. I'm sorry. Don't mind me.
It's just really
This is the most manipulative crying bullshit. This is why he left that in. Because he didn't accomplish his goal and he had to rewrite the ending, and his rewrite the ending was turning this into his own personal therapy session and crying about it. And then you're literally doing the thing in the video to Ethan that makes you cry about it when it's done to your wife. Like, this is the most hypocritical, manipulative bullshit in this entire video. But yeah, if you're bad at texting, it's fine. I mean, you can take your time. We're going to be here a while. You know, collect your thoughts and type if you want to type. But if you actually want to talk, there's a Discord link pinned right at the top of chat there. Just click that and join the voice call. We'll hash it out.
So look at women who are not are benefiting off of being seen.
Now, if you did a tiny bit of research, it's in the same video. You would have known that the button had already been ordered at the time of this incident. So this wasn't some turning point. Ian quickly nullifies this point of the segment by saying,
I think if all of us had buttons, we'd hit the button all the time. But if you don't have it, you operate differently. You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more.
Yeah, every network television station has a button. I stream a...
Okay, yeah, I saw you join the Discord. I think there's an anti-spam feature that makes you wait a couple minutes before you can actually join voice chats and that kind of thing. So as soon as it lets you join the waiting room and I see you in there, I'll drag you up and we'll take a break from this to hash it out. And you can, you know, add some context. It's fine. We'll have both sides. Actually, I'm not on either side of the argument. I'm just reading the information given to me. I don't watch H3 or iDubbbz anymore, to be honest. But yeah, as soon as it lets you join the waiting room and gives you permission, I think you have to wait a while before it'll let you join rooms like that. But as soon as you're able to join one of those rooms, just pop on in, bud.
I wish I had a button. I think everyone could use a kill switch. Ian is making a non-argument. He barely streams and he is making this point during an edited video. You know what?
Yeah, there's absolutely no live streamer in the world who wouldn't want a kill switch. If all of us had $20,000 to buy a kill switch, every single one of us would. Including him. Like, this is the most nothing point in the entire video. It means nothing. Every broadcast television station does it. Yeah, like he already pointed all of this out. Yeah, like this is not a point. I don't know why this is in here.
I think think I know a guy who could probably use that button.
You fucking bloodthirsty, violent pig dog. You would kill
And he can afford the button, so he doesn't really have an excuse.
Rick Scott. America deserved 9/11, dude. Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers in a video game. Sorry.
Let's talk about the crew. I think the crew has been put in the worst working environment that you possibly can be for a fucking podcast. Every crew member has it bad.
I think this part of the video, and frankly any part of the video that mentions the podcast, is malicious. Ian, I know you don't have the best business track record, and that happens, but I don't think you have the place to be talking about Ethan's successful podcast when my small YouTube channel consistently outperforms your podcast.
True. I have videos that have outperformed his podcast, and I'm less of a nobody than this guy. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Let's listen to the guy who gets 300 views on a podcast tell me how podcasts work. What?
Would be fine with you not brigading my comment section on my
It's like taking business advice from the CEO of Blockbuster in 2025.
podcast that gets 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not to do harassment campaigns and instead talk about Vampire's Kiss.
It's very clear to me that Ian is insecure about the success of his podcast, and it's not unsuccessful because he talks about niche subjects or whatever. It's because it's boring and oftentimes laughably bad.
I think for me...
By the way, I have to be a bit quiet though. Hey, I mean, I can turn your volume up locally. As long as I can hear you, that is all that matters.
Me, when I really started to be like, I really don't want to be a part of this, was I hate bringing it up, but Etika. The Etika stuff was so hard for me. Like, that was somebody who clearly was experiencing a mental health issue. And this is my attitude, like, full...
I love how they all invoke the name Etika as if they were fans of him as a way to prove a point. Like, I'm sure that that was that man's legacy that he wanted to be behind, is the dead YouTuber name that everyone can bring up when they need to prove a point. Fuck, man. I've never even watched any of Etika's content, and I only know who he is because they keep bringing it up. Just let the man fucking rest in peace. This is disgusting.
Stop on this period. The last thing somebody who's going through something like that needs is more eyes on it. We were in it, and at the time when we were in it and we wanted...
She's referring to us kind of going through a fucking hard time on the internet, being harassed, videos made about us, people weighing in.
People still make videos about us.
And on the stupid crew point, there's been very few people to actually leave H3's crew. Only one is left on bad terms. Hell, Dan's been there for like 7 years, if not more. If the environment was so bad, why didn't...
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they're fucking slaves, dude. They aren't under contract. They can just quit. I've had jobs with bad bosses, and then I quit them. And then I find a new job. We've all had jobs with bad bosses. We all know what a bad boss is like. And you don't stay under a bad boss for 9 fucking years. No one does that.
Didn't you call it out when you were on the show a year and a half
All right.
ago? You've had plenty of time. And while we're speaking on the crew, I want to take a moment to talk about AB and Lena, 2 beloved members of the H3 podcast. I actually met AB at the second Creator Clash. He was nice as hell. I even made it into the podcast members only recap video. That aside, let's be clear here. Ian, what you did to Lena by stirring this shit up 2 months...
Yeah, you do come off as biased when you say that, but props to you for transparency, for letting everybody know. I mean, I don't think it necessarily makes you, like, a super fan or anything. You didn't ask to be made into that recap video, but I'm sure the Snarkles will take that and run with it.
Before the event is eerily similar to what you did last time to sabotage your own event. It's disgusting that you put 2 other people that you're friendly with, 2 Arabs by the way, since that apparently matters, instead of treating everyone like human beings, in this position when you knew full well that Lena was fighting in your event in 2 months. If you had any spine at all, you would at least wait until after your event or send a warning to Lena and AB. You've now set 2 innocent people up for harassment, and harassment they've been getting. Not just because of...
Yeah, that's the part that gets me, is all you had to do is wait. Like, you're throwing this event and hiding behind it like a shield, like everyone who attacks you just wants to attack your event. It's this innocent event. It's for charity. Like, you do come off like you're hiding behind it when all of it is of your own making. You didn't have to make the content cop when you made it. You could have waited. You could have waited till after your event. Fucking prioritize. It looks to everybody else like you don't give a fuck about the event. You didn't think about the event. You weren't prioritizing the event because you made this content cop. You've been focused on this drama. You've been focused on getting those views. You don't give a shit about the event. So why the fuck should anyone else? if the guy who's running it isn't scared to throw it under the bus or to put it in harm's way, why the fuck should anyone else treat it like it's something special if he's not?
You, but because they're the only two Lebanese people on the show. Looks like you need to fill up that empathy bar a little bit more.
Also, let's talk about AB and Lena, two Lebanese employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict like they don't exist. It would be nicer, a lot nicer, for you to shut the fuck up about it.
Also,
do you honestly believe that he doesn't talk with his staff about what's going to be on today's podcast before having the podcast? Like, you don't think they have fucking company meetings and shit? Like, you don't think they, like, how do you think his podcast operates, man? Do you think that everyone just shows up and goes in fucking blind and Ethan's fucking steering the ship and they don't know what's going to happen? I mean, he's going to have moments where he goes off script. That's what the button's for. But they do know what's on the script. They have a docket. They have things planned out. They know what they're going to talk about. And I'm pretty sure that if any of them are uncomfortable with any of those topics, and I'm pretty sure Ethan has said this, don't quote me on it because I haven't looked it up and I don't feel like it right now, but I'm pretty sure he has said that when they get ready to do a podcast or they're going to talk about stuff, that if someone's uncomfortable with it, they're free to tell him. And that they have told him there were stuff they were uncomfortable with in the past, and either they didn't cover it or those people didn't have to work that day. You know, just didn't have to participate. I'm like acting as if he doesn't talk to his staff at all. This is what I'm talking about with the framing. It's so obvious that what you're doing are just attacks. They're not criticism, they're attacks.
Act like Ethan is some sort of anti-Palestinian voice, like he's got some Ben Shapiro absolute Zionist level takes, when that is absolutely not the case. Believe it or not, you can be pro-Palestinian and anti-terrorist at the same time, and I believe most pro-Palestinian people are. The cherry on top of this is that Ian accidentally released the video while AB and Lena were live on the H3 podcast. While the show was live, Lena had to run off to the bathroom as she was
Yeah, accidentally. He did that shit on purpose. He purposefully waited until they were live to release it so that he was most definitely watching that podcast when he did it, so he could watch his reaction to it live, hoping that he'd take the bait. And he did. And it still didn't go well for you. Like, I know you were hoping he'd crash out on stream over it and do it live and unscripted and it would just make him look bad. But it backfired. You ended up being the one looking bad, as I proved last night when we started this video, which got interrupted into a debate, which you can find on my channel. You guys should view that. An H3 Snarker was in my chat and telling me my takes were bad and how wrong I was, and I invited them to the Discord to prove me wrong, and you can see how well that went by watching that video. Spoiler alert, they didn't. Anyway.
Having a panic attack over the video. Then Ian had the bright idea to send her a DM like, oh my bad, as if that fixes anything he set them up for. Ian, if you actually do have an empathy meter over 1%, you'll spare her and buy her out from Creator Clash because you know full well that your audience is gonna boo her the second she steps foot on the event, something that she's afraid of. Also, big shoutouts to whoever the hell runs the Creator Clash Twitter and website.
And that's another thing, like, you were the one who put her in that position with the way that you talked. And with the fact that you know, put your event in harm's way by launching Creator Clash when you should have been promoting your event, you put her in harm's way. And if she wants out of the event now, she loses money. You won't even pay her out of the event. Ethan has offered to do that for her. Ethan has offered to reimburse her for your event. But are you going to give him any credit for that? Are you going to acknowledge that at all? Are you going to comment on that? Are you going to give him credit for that? No. No, he's still the bad guy forever, always.
Yeah, great timing there.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke to AB without thinking that the internet was going to hear it, it was rude, it was nasty, and it didn't have this caveat of like, I'm not mad.
Do you got my stream up, Angel?
No, but I can pull it up on my phone.
Let me know when you do, because this one I want a normal person take on. So he's about to show, Ethan has a button, because he does his podcast live, okay? So he has a button for his podcast. Basically, his podcast is being broadcast live, but on a delay. And he has a button he can press that will erase the last 30 seconds. Like all
Yup.
all professional live broadcasts do that. Your local news
You
does
have
it, yeah.
to cover your ass.
Yep. So if he goes off script or something gets said or a mistake happens, they can hit the button, and that last 30 seconds
Caller
of footage
possibly says something.
Yeah, exactly. And that last 30 seconds of footage won't be shown to the public. So he's about to reference a moment where this is the one time we get to see Ethan talking to his staff when he thinks the button has been pressed, but they didn't press the button. So you get to hear what he sounds like when he thinks no one is listening. So he's about to play this as a big own to show how bad of a boss he is. So I want you to listen to how Ethan talks to his staff when he thinks no one is listening. And you've worked a lot of public jobs, as have I, in our many years on this earth. I want you to tell me if this sounds acceptable to you. If it sounds rude and all of the things he's about to claim it is rude, harsh, like he's a tyrant, yeah, like he paints him out to be this horrible boss. I want you to listen to what he says, and I want you to tell me if you hear horrible boss or like how you interpret it. Just to see if we're on the...
Somebody else has to drive so I can do that.
All right, I'm on my way. I don't know why they're not driving it. Okay, he's driving it. I'm gonna try to land in the truck. Okay. Y'all ain't gotta stop.
That works.
And just let me know when you're
Nice shot, man.
Pause. Sure, I'll probably edit this part down and clip some of it so that it'll just cut straight to when we play it again. But
all right.
No
All
rush.
right.
Let me know when you're ready.
You are up. Let me turn the brightness up so I can properly see.
Yeah, well, the video is not as important as the audio. We're just listening to how he talks to his staff.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. And in 3, 2, 1, this is Ethan talking to his staff. The rude tyrant boss, Ethan. Let's hear it.
At you, it was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Use they get access to cover most of it.
You're doing it.
What are
Making
you
it
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Just like this is what I'm talking about when it's always like.
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I'm about finishing Wednesday.
Ian, for some reason, I'm beginning to think.
All right, that was it. That was it. What'd you think? I don't know if you're muted or something. Or how much of a delay you're on. Okay.
I'm muted. I was muted. No, you can clearly tell a night and day difference between his content voice and his, all right, we're getting business done.
Yeah, but when he was handling business, because the claim being made here is that he is a tyrant of a boss, he's mean, and he's abusive to his employees. Did you hear any of that in the clip that he used in his own video as an example of it? Did that sound like a boss who is rude, mean, overbearing, and abusive to his employees?
No.
I didn't hear it either. It sounded like they've been there for a long time. Boss stops the show for a minute, forgets to press the button, and he's like, dude, this is why I didn't want to bring this up.
Like I said,
I want to get home to my kids. Yeah.
It was a totally different tone, content voice versus normal. But yeah, you could clearly tell the difference between thought he was muted or not. So he thought he was normal.
Which also proves the point I brought up just a minute ago, which is that he definitely talks to his employees about what's going to be on the podcast before the podcast starts. So you're like, keep bringing it up on the podcast. He doesn't bring up things on the podcast. They plan it out, and everyone on staff knows what they're going to bring up. So if they're talking about a topic that makes the staff uncomfortable, the staff can say so before the podcast starts. It's not like they're blindsided with it.
And at the very least, it's a rough outline of what they expect to
like
cover.
You at least know what they expect to cover.
You could very well cover something or say something that you weren't planning on, but the conversation led to that.
Yeah, I mean, sure, conversation's going to have flow and things can change, but you know, especially because that staff's been with him for like 7 or 8 years. Like at this point, you know what they're okay with, what they're not okay with. You know when something might cross the line. Yeah, like you're intimately familiar with your staff. And on top of that, the clip you show to show that he's a bad person or he's a bad boss is him talking to an employee about something they clearly talked about off stream before the stream started, where he says, I didn't want to bring this up. He didn't want to bring it up because it would take up too much time and they were already covering so much. He didn't want the podcast to be like 8 hours long. So he was like, I want to get home to my kids. I didn't want to bring this up. And he's kind of and he's kind of yelling at the employee because you brought it up when I didn't want to bring it up. So he fucked up. He did something he wasn't supposed to do. The boss gave him probably the nicest pushback on it I've heard a boss give. I wish my bosses at my job talked like he did when they got upset or when I fucked up. Like he didn't yell. There were no curse words. Nope. There was nothing rude there. This is the most milquetoast fucking example of a boss being mean I've ever heard in my life. This just goes to show that iDubbbz has not worked a public job probably ever. He got lucky on YouTube as a teenager, and he has never had to work a public job a day in his life if he thinks this is what a rude tyrant boss sounds like.
Right.
So this is more telling of him than Ethan. It's another example of himself owning himself.
Think that you being an electrician's apprentice was some sort of joke. Right. Jokes aside, I know that you actually have had jobs in the past, but you sure do act like you've never came across a difficult situation ever. Exactly. This was a tame incident that there were no bad feelings over.
The tower.
He makes it seem like he's not a
Down on the tower.
Of a boss.
We're doing it.
What are you doing?
So awkward and terrible. I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's no bad blood after it. They joked about it immediately afterward. They went right back to the show. Everybody was good. It's amazing that you can be a tyrant of a boss and be so overbearing that your staff fears you, and yet they can enjoy your company immediately after the fallout. Holy shit. That's crazy. That's wild. These are all like he's just throwing nothing burger after nothing burger here.
What in God's name did Alex Wasabi do to your pituitary gland, Ian? Because you've clearly never had a tyrannical boss if you think Ethan sounds like one in that clip. Sure, exactly. It's a bad and awkward moment that he apologized for. Big whoop.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. The best way to describe that moment wasn't rude, wasn't tyrannical. It was awkward. At best, it was awkward. That's it. That's all it was. Oh, I got a guy going up on the tower again. Nope. Didn't make it, bud. Sorry, bud. He fell.
I
shot him off the ladder.
Nice.
For good
He's
measure.
probably mad.
Yeah, he did.
Whoop, it's over.
Dan, his producer,
I already have a
is
cluster if you can grab that.
clarifying things on the air and making it clear that what Ethan said was a joke.
Yo.
God forbid.
It's okay because I buttoned it.
Why?
Because
it's not that big of a deal, man.
Just
like
your inability to.
No. Hold on, Dan. How does it change anything? People knowing that we did it.
It's fun when it's a surprise.
Okay, well,
you just asked how it changed.
Surprise them on your show.
Again, shitty choice of a clip and a bad out of context example. This is Ethan and Gila's show.
Yeah, that's also how they joke around with each other. We got a lot of guys landing on this building.
And I know this might be a massive revelation out of this world, but fun fact, the H in H3 stands for Hila. And the 3 is meant to represent a backwards E that stands for Ethan. It's their podcast. Ethan has every right to direct his producers to do what he wants for his show. Maybe you should take some notes so you can have a more entertaining podcast yourself. Ethan.
That's right. Came down to that conversation I was having yesterday about being jealous of somebody because they're successful or because they got the hot girl or whatever. Maybe, just maybe, instead of being jealous of them and yelling and getting fucking seething over it, maybe you should just go ask them what their secret is. Maybe you can learn from them. Oh, fuck.
Ethan doesn't want to change, and he wants to bring the entire crew down with him.
Ian, you understand that the workforce isn't slavery, right? You do understand that a worker has the right to quit their job, and that these crew members working on a high-profile show could quit any day with a fantastic resume and the opportunity to start a career of their own on social media, right?
Yeah, he's even trying to boost their careers. H3 is constantly promoting the personal YouTube channels of his staff, sending them views and trying to help them start a career of their own. That definitely doesn't sound like something a tyrant of a boss who wants to keep them in their position would do. Like, he runs the risk of losing a good employee if their channel takes off and they can go independent. Like, none of your arguments make any sense, dude.
Right? They all make it clear that they disagree with this hole that you and those snark subreddits are trying to place them in. You have snark redditor logic, and it's clear how you researched this video.
What makes...
He went full snark brain. Yeah, he went to H3 Snark to source the video. And Hassan subreddit and their Twitter accounts and all the places that they go to get their information. And he ignored anything other than those. This is absolutely narrative pushing. It's propaganda.
Demon mode different than goblin mode? Is goblins aren't really like an intimidating power.
Oh yeah, this is also another example of him being malicious as fuck too. When he talks about him going, he recently decided he wanted to go demon mode. That's worse than goblin mode. And the clip he shows, Ethan's about 100 pounds heavier. Like, how old is this fucking clip? You said he recently decided he was going to do this, and then you show a 10-year-old clip. Like, this couldn't be more manipulative.
Powerful force. If the goblin is persistent, it can get what it wants.
When I'm done with the other one, the big one that's dropping probably next week, my full attention is going to you, George. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach.
According to iDubbbz, demon mode refers to Ethan suing people, and this first example is Bad Empanada, aka George, who's already on the run for civil cases as it is. Bad Empanada absolutely deserves a lawsuit. He has knowingly and maliciously slandered Ethan and Hila, has absolutely been harassing Ethan and Hila, has wasted government resources in order to harass Ethan and Hila, and it's certainly easy to prove damages.
3 complaints for 3 people.
You are doing the classic rich asshole thing. You have a deficit of friends, you have a surplus of enemies. You feel really bad, you feel hurt, but you also have a surplus of money. So what can you do? You can use that money to bully and intimidate people.
No, Ian, person who's wealthy enough to run 2 charity boxing events despite the last one costing you $250,000 in debt that you had no problem paying off and starting a new one this year. Ethan is not a rich asshole for suing people that he feels with good evidence are slandering him. Moral grandstanding at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. This video was not just critical. Sure, there were some critiques against the Israeli government and one creator who really did deserve the criticism. However, there was so much slander against other creators to create some conclusion that they were all genocide supporters. For those unaware, Noah Samson, the person that Ethan Klein and Mudahar are preparing to sue, is pretty infamous for being bad faith, as Jolly Saint Nicholas DiOrio calls him, the Brit Bong of the left. Noah recently made a pretty bad faith video attacking several creators, notably Turkey Tom, Mudahar, and Ethan Klein. The video was titled "The YouTubers Who Backed a Genocide," and it's about, you guessed it, the conflict between Israel and Palestine.
Wait, is this the video?
In this video, Noah denies several rapes that were committed by terrorists.
Is this the video that Ethan threatened to sue Noah over? Where he just like fucking slanders him and causes actual damage to him, defamation? I think so. I mean, is this when we called him a baby killer or whatever? Yeah, just more of the propaganda pushing. I said this last night and I'll say it again. This they can dance around it all they want, but everyone who's like pretending like they care about the creator or they care about the children or they care about this, that, no, it's all about politics. There's literally nothing Ethan can do that will make you like him because he disagrees with your politics, therefore he's evil. You guys are just playing team sports politics. He's on the other team, so therefore he must be evil. There's literally nothing he can do and nothing anyone can show you that's going to change your mind, and you're going to make up all the propaganda pieces you can to slander him. You're going to do hit piece after hit piece after hit piece, just like in politics, when there's an election going, they run attack ad after attack ad after attack ad. It's just this perpetual cycle. If you set his politics aside and look at him as a person and not care about his politics, you guys would probably like him. But you'll never fucking admit that.
Defended the Houthi terrorists, including the one terrorist that Hassan interviewed on stream that Hassan himself called a terrorist.
Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother.
He also defended Twitch's shitty actions on anti-Semitism and most of
Okay, you could have played a better clip than that, because you said he himself called him a terrorist, and then you show a clip of him saying the word rebel, not terrorist, and that's what they're going to argue with. I think he did call him a Houthi terrorist at one point. I know that clip does exist before he interviewed him, and then he downplayed the fuck out of it, and then he tried to even claim he wasn't a Houthi rebel. He was just some random teenager. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. You could have picked a better clip.
Most importantly, concluded that Ethan Klein is pro-genocide for making a video on Hassan Piker where he criticizes the terrorists that Hassan was promoting. This is all despite Ethan Klein saying that the West Bank is fair game and supporting the Palestinian movement in his content nuke on Hassan Piker. He tries to paint the picture that because of Ethan's video on Hassan, that Ethan is lying about his support.
I'm not going to comment on the politics stuff because I don't give a fuck about any Middle Eastern politics whatsoever. I don't know anyone who lives there. I don't live there. I'm never going to visit there. I don't care. It's literally not my problem.
And empathy towards the Palestinian cause. He then goes after creators like Turkey Tom and Mudahar just for criticizing Twitch and the golden boy, Hassan Piker.
Hey, have you seen Hassan Piker at all?
Piker? I hardly even knew her. Noah's ultimate conclusion is that all of these creators back genocide because they criticize Hassan, which takes a lot of fucking hoops to draw that conclusion. And after watching this dog shit video, I completely understand why Ethan Klein and Mudahar want to sue. I won't get into my opinions on if they should.
I forgot Mudahar wanted to sue too. Yeah, so both of them want to sue. I don't know if either of them actually are, because I mean, political stuff tends to not be defamation, blah blah blah. So it's just the world's so fucking politics brain now. It's just it's so exhausting. But if he does sue, I hope he wins, because hit pieces, like if they do actual damage, you should be held accountable for them. I mean, freedom of speech means you can say whatever you want, but you can't purposefully cause damage to someone and affect their livelihood and their ability to live just because you want to tell lies. Freedom of speech doesn't protect that. That's defamation. That's why that law exists.
Should or shouldn't sue, but let's just say I won't exactly feel sad if this scares the shit out of Noah Samson for years, fearing generational debt. Now, before I go any further, it should go without saying that I'm totally against retarded and frivolous lawsuits. However, Ian seems to think that all lawsuits are just used to intimidate people, but in the cases where that is true, sometimes it's justified. You shouldn't feel confident to slander.
That's something you should like lock away in the back of your mind and bank. The fact that iDubbbz himself thinks that, remember, he thinks all lawsuits are frivolous and just there to silence people. I wonder if he'll still have that same perspective if his new best friend Denims actually does file a lawsuit against Ethan. Is it frivolous and she's just trying to silence Ethan? Or does it have merit? Wonder if his perspective will change then. So just remember that that's what he thinks when he made this video, when and if that lawsuit ever actually happens.
People, you should feel intimidated at what might happen if you
just do the video game thing where the thing pops up in the corner of the screen. Thomas will remember that. Yeah, need you guys to do that. Need you to remember that.
You choose to spread malicious libel against people. Some lawsuits are justified. Hey Ian, a great example of a frivolous lawsuit is the Matt Haas versus H3H3 case. Another one is the one that you threatened Froggy Fresh over $18,000 for after you kicked him out of your event, but didn't pursue because of all the backlash you got. Remember that one?
No, you have a ton of power, you have a ton of options, you have a ton of choice. That's exactly what you get for being filthy rich.
Someone's mad at the internet. Also, you gotta love this frame, right? He's screaming at Ethan for being filthy rich while he's got a gold tooth for fashion, looks like dog shit, and thousands of dollars worth of shitty tattoos. Should try to get a
Yeah, we can Google both your net worths. You're two millionaires fighting. Like, no one's gonna have sympathy for you over this. You're a millionaire fighting with another millionaire. So you calling him filthy rich just comes off as you jealous that he has a few more millions than you do. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, fuck off.
Refund on that. Sitting in your basement filled with expensive boxing equipment and an arcade machine, talking to us on your expensive camera and lav mic. You have nothing to grandstand on, you fucking cowardly, pathetic little
He did the button bit. This dude definitely watches Nicholas Diorio. He's stolen like half his bits and memes. I mean, I'm here for it. It's funny. Nicholas doesn't own them either. He doesn't own memes. I'm just saying, like, it's pretty clear where his influence is.
He kept saying that it was racist or anti-Semitic to suggest that he talked to someone who's within the same ethnic group as him.
That's why I said yesterday, like, I urge Ethan to talk to Sam Cedar.
Is it not? I mean, maybe not so much racist, but you're definitely patronizing him. That's like telling a black liberal to go talk to the Hodge twins to see why they're wrong. Ian seems to have lost the idea that people are people. Like, people of different ethnic groups and cultures can have conversations, dude. And if there's anyone in this situation who cannot take criticism, it's absolutely Hassan Piker. If you dare ever criticize him, you're in for a world of bullshit. He won't watch it, and if your name ever comes up, he'll just, isn't this the guy you, and disregard you completely.
How can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting.
Ethan, I don't know what to fucking tell you. This is like step one of having a leftist ideology, is recognizing our race, religion, nationality, all this shit, all shape our experiences as people.
This is another rare part of the video where you start to think that Ian might kind of have a point, and then you sit there and you realize that Hassan is categorizing all Jews as to having one opinion, and instead of not doing that, he deflects Ethan off to go talk to the approved Jew, Sam Cedar. So instead of Ian criticizing Hassan for categorizing all Jews as to having one opinion, he decides to criticize Ethan for not talking to the approved Jew. This is so fucking backwards.
It could possibly be someone who shares progressive ideology with you. It could possibly be someone who is of your same gender.
Okay, so, alright, the new and improved iDubbbz is now asking you to patronize other ethnic groups, identities, or skin colors, and only talk to your own. I'm so happy that you've...
Unless they're approved. Yeah, it's that diet racism. I love how all their defenses against being racist. Oh, it wasn't a racist here. This wasn't, and all their explanations kind of make them sound a little more racist when you actually think about them.
Performed, Ian. This is great moves, man. Keep it up. Proud of you.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
No, Ethan, those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand why you would...
Didn't Hassan himself refer to it as a joke when he was called on it later, though? Careful, you might be throwing your new, boyfriend under the bus. Your new lord and savior.
Conflate the two. That is someone who is extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic. In this case, American imperialism, and passionate about a particular...
No, what the fuck is happening? He just defended the 9/11 cop. He just defended the 9/11.
Yeah, I don't even think Hassan defends the 9/11 comment, dude.
Just defended the 9/11 comment. Also, by the way, this wasn't some nuanced take by Hassan as he tried to retcon on his uncle's show. This was a crash out. The correct use case of the term, by the way, Ian. Because right after the 9/11 comment, he started making graphic remarks about the missing eye of Representative Dan Crenshaw, who was wounded and lost his eye while serving our country in the line of duty.
Didn't he go to war and, like, literally lose his eye because some mujahideen, a brave fucking soldier, fucked his eye hole with their dick? Isn't that how he looked?
What else would they fuck his eye hole? Okay, I guess dildos are a thing. Strap-ons. Never mind. Continue.
Lost his fucking dumbass eye because he got his fucking eye hole fucked?
I think Israel says it's a place where Jews can go.
Israel's just a place Jews can go? With that slogan, we might actually have peace.
Ian, you're getting really fucking lazy. Where's the counter argument? Also, I love this we shit.
With that slogan, we might actually have peace. You know, if...
Yeah, he's on their side now. He's one of them. One of them.
That's all you're defining Israel as, is a place Jews can go.
Ian, I didn't know you were Palestinian. Who the fuck is we? Like, since when were you the spokesperson of Palestine?
There was a tier list. It was called...
He's the approved what? Oh, man. I'm all over the place right now.
Called the Who Can Say Habibi tier list. It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun. And Ethan Klein saw that, and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
No, Ian, he didn't decide that it was anti-Semitic. It was anti-Semitic. They got banned because it was anti-Semitic.
Yeah, it's definitively, like, obviously anti-Semitic. If you replace, here's the test. If you replace the words used in that with words from other races, is it racist? If it sounds racist to replace the word Zionist with black and loves Sabra with loves chicken, if that suddenly makes it sound racist, guess what? Your tier list is racist.
The whole premise of who can say Habibi was almost immediately dropped after it started.
We brought you guys here today because we want to rank streamers on how Arab they are.
The people in that category
literally start off explaining the tier list of, hey, we're here today because we want to rank streamers by how Arab they are. Again, replace that with any other race. We're gonna rank streamers based on how black they are. We're gonna rank streamers based on how white they are. We're gonna rank streamers, based on how Asian they are. Every other context sounds just as racist as the one you just said, bud. Yeah, it's a racial tier list. How Arab they are, it's literally a racial tier list. There is no other read on that.
We're on the thumbnail? Jews, and besides it being a hummus, Sabra's dictionary definition is a Jewish person born in Israel. Hassan goes in Arab because that's the good tier, but Ethan Klein goes in the Jew category because that's the bad tier. Let me explain this in different terms to make it a bit more obvious for your thick skull, Ian. Let's say I were to make a who's invited to the cookout tier list, and at the top you got loves hip hop, and at the bottom you got white. That's of course the best way I could put it without getting in trouble.
Hold on. Let's go back.
Hip hop, and at the bottom you got white. That's of course the.
All right, we'll full screen that and read it. It probably wouldn't be that bad, right? Now, instead, flip the tier categories and make the premise something more stereotypical, like who can drive in a wealthy area without being pulled over. Ian would probably morally grandstand about it. Yeah, like if you replace it with literally any other stereotype or racial list, it sounds racist. Who's invited to the cookout? Whites at the bottom. Who's allowed to drive through the gated community? Oh, well, obviously not Kanye. Have you seen him? Yeah. There's no other way to read this that doesn't sound racist.
The best way I could put it without getting in trouble. I think it would be a pretty clear stereotype, and maybe you're just not as culturally sound as you might think you are, Ian.
Lighthearted and fun.
Ethan Klein.
I told you guys to clap.
This is a good reaction.
That was a good one. That's good. All right.
You guys are missing a category for Zionist.
Who has the N-word pass and who doesn't? He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded.
That was a fucking fire edit, dude. He found a way to say the N-word without saying the N-word. I don't know how well it'll work. I'm curious to see if his video got demonetized or not, but that's one way to do it. We'll see how they react to it. They'll probably still call him racist, even though he never said the N-word. Although I did get banned once because I had my wife on stream next to me, and I was doing this bit where I'm going to say stuff, and it sounds like I'm going to say the N-word, but every time the N-word would be said in my sentence, she would say it instead of me. So I would say like, "What's up, Mai?" And then she would say the N-word. So I got a black person next to me saying the N-word for me, and they still banned me. But okay.
By a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle.
Now we get into the big moment of the video. This is where Ian does something whimsical in content cop fashion. This usually leaves an impact on the viewer, whether it be a sketch or him traveling somewhere and doing something comical. So let's see it. I'm ready. Let's see what he's got.
And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least.
Okay.
I came up with this idea where I'm jealous that his grade was higher than mine, so I'm going to see if I can make the teacher change it. Isn't that a funny bit, guys? Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Also, it consequently makes me better than him. But it's funny, right? Jesus, it's the most insecure shit I've ever seen. Petty as fuck.
Okay, then this is kind of silly, but let's see where it goes.
I guess have a policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it.
Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade. Wait.
Oh, are you gonna cry? Oh wait, he does actually cry. Never mind.
He didn't even do it? Why the hell is this even in the video? What the hell
Exactly.
happened to you, Ian? This
It's
was so
pre-recorded.
pathetic.
You could
also,
cut it.
including this guy in the video is pretty malicious. It's clear he only heard one side. He quickly took down his video on the content cop after Ian reached out and ultimately decided he wanted to stay out of it and just wish the best for everyone. I feel bad.
There you go, for all those of you who were wondering, because people argued with me about that last night, that Ethan was just trying to stay out of it. That's what it looks like when you're actually trying to stay out of it. He deleted his video. He blocked any reference to it in his comments. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to get in the middle of it. He regrets making the one video he made. He was manipulated, and yes, he was absolutely manipulated by iDubbbz, and he got the backlash for it, and he's like, I want no parts of this. And then he deleted all reference to it, and he noped out. That's what it looks like when you actually want to, stay out of it. Ian didn't do that. God, their names are so similar. I'm definitely not the only one to make that mistake. Shut up.
Bad for this guy.
Anyone can have their own official apology rating system, so I'm going to rate Ethan's apology a B-.
This is even more pathetic. When the teacher won't change the grade, you just say, well, I'll give you a grade of my own. I would give you this grade. Anyone can give a grade. Well, no, anyone can't rate an apology and give that kind of grade. The reason that it works for him and he can do it is he's a psychiatrist. He's been to school. It's his job to analyze stuff like that. Just like you can't say, well, the teacher gave you an A and I think you deserve a B, so I'm going to give you a B. That doesn't magically change the kid's grade. You're not the one who grades the papers. You're not the teacher. It doesn't mean anything if you do it. Like, this is so petty and stupid.
Minus? Wait a sec. This is so petty. You butthurt son of a bitch.
Yeah, there we go. He put it together.
Important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him.
None of them wanted to do this. Shonda Black is even like, wait, I didn't have to do this. I could have said no. That was an option. None of them wanted to do this, including iDubbbz. The doctor in the video that he deleted because he wanted to stay out of it now, he made his response and realized that everybody's just going to give him shit for the response. And then he's like, nope, I don't want any parts of this, and deleted it. But anyway, before that video was deleted, if you saw it, he said that that was not the original ending for iDubbbz's video. The original ending was something way different, but he changed it to the he needs a hug thing when he wouldn't change his grade. So he had no intention, even he himself had no intention of ever saying anything nice about Ethan or having any of them do that. That was a last minute decision when the original ending failed. This was plan B.
Because I think he deserves it.
This is definitely the most manipulative part of the video. Don't fucking act like you care. This retarded concern trolling, getting Ethan's enemies to say something nice. Like, after all the shit Denims has done, do you think Ethan really wants to hear, like, the chipper words from Denims? No. A notable person missing here is Hassan, which I kind of got to give him credit for. Like, at least he's standing on business, unlike Shonda Black, who immediately went back on his statement after the video. And
yeah, there we go. He's going to show the Shonda Black thing. Yep, that's what happened. And none of them stood on business except for Hassan, which, I mean, you can give him credit for that if you want, but I think it is him standing on business. That business is just shitty business. It's just petty and childish. But yeah, he did stand on it, I guess. That he can't even say one thing nice about someone from the other side. This is like when they try to get all the Trump supporters to say something nice about Hillary or, Kamala, Biden, and vice versa. Yeah, it's the same shit. You get to see how childish people really are.
I hate to say it, but I think the only genuine person here is Frogan, as she recently doubled down on her well wishes towards Ethan. Don't get me wrong, she's still a fucking piece of shit, but I gotta give credit where credit is due.
I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. I'm like, fuck, it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay.
It's so hard to be bullied. He says at the end of his video, bullying Ethan.
Like, if you come to their defense, that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
Oh man, dude, the raped. He's so raped, man.
Yes! Jump into the content deputy.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're doing. You're baiting for that sponsorship. Respect, bro. Get that bag. I see it. I see it.
Hey, so don't mind the outfit change. This is recorded about a week after all those other clips. I didn't expect things to keep escalating. A part of me is kind of thankful for it. A part of me wanted to die the second I saw that content deputy.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it. Like, I was ready to take a break from this and go do some other drama, but man, the hits just keep on coming.
H3 was uploaded.
It is a bit exhausting. Please, iDubbbz, I know you said you've got more videos coming, but please wait. Please just wait till after Creator Clash. Give the internet a fucking break, man.
Alright, cut the shit, dude. I am so pissed right now. I live reacted to it on stream, and thankfully, there really wasn't that much in there to cover. In this content deputy, he hides behind the thin veil of charity, which, by the way, if you watch the first H3 podcast on the Creator Clash, you see how thin that veil is, okay? It was only supposed to be a charitable aspect, but when they're criticized for it, they get to hide behind it.
Ethan, in a desperate attempt to attack and smear Anissa and I, he started attacking our charity event.
Just because your event's for charity, you could still be criticized. And regardless, it doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah, ask the completionist. Just because you say something's for charity doesn't mean people can't look into it and criticize you. That went real well for him, didn't it?
Because you didn't raise a dime for charity last time.
Can't wait for them to blame us for their failed event. Don't worry, Ela. I'm not going to blame you guys for anything Creator Clash related. I know you're terrified of taking accountability for anything, so that will rest solely on my shoulders. But I can't speak for the internet. The internet might actually blame you guys for it.
This is psychotic. Ian, the internet is not going to blame Ethan and Ela for Creator Clash 3's inevitable failure. What happened with Creator Clash 2? Was it their fault then? Even though they were the only people fucking promoting the event? The only possible way this event is saved is if Hassan uses a socialist grift money, but even then, no one's gonna...
I think you can save it without spending any money. But he's gonna have to swallow his pride to do it. You do a fucking Hassan Piker versus Sam Hod fight as your title card. That will save it and then some. And you just spend no money to do it. But Hassan will never do that. You've got a better chance of him, you know, spending his propaganda money.
Gonna fucking show up. So in this video, Anissa's husband announces that him and Anissa aren't going to be leading Creator Clash anymore because of drama, which is really interesting, and I have a lot of thoughts on that, which I'll talk about later.
Recent revelation that people are just going to use Creator Clash to attack Anissa and I. Anissa and I have decided to step away from Creator Clash. We have relinquished control to our business partners who ran the previous two events.
You guys are still to blame for this fight being barely promoted, for all of this shit failing.
Yeah, like that doesn't absolve you of all this stuff you've done wrong up until that point. Like, you're still responsible for how poorly it's gone until now. So you can't just, like, call someone in to try to, like, fix it and then blame them when it fails and be like, well, you had nothing to do with it. No, you still had plenty to do with it. You still, like, your contribution still led to this. This doesn't invalidate that. Sorry, it just doesn't.
And for, yet again, bringing more drama into the card because you guys don't know how to handle relations behind the scenes, which is very clear, which is probably why you guys stepped down.
I can't keep my mouth shut. I can't, I mean, I can. I just didn't want to. I want to be frank. I didn't think I would be an awesome event organizer.
To be honest, if you felt you weren't going to be a good boxing promoter, why did you do it again after failing the last time? It's very funny how you guys are nudging the blame for Creator Clash 3's failure on Ethan and Ela just in case it inevitably fails. But you guys can avoid all accountability because you guys stepped away from the event. I saw this analogy on the internet. It's like the captain of the Titanic after hitting the iceberg, after the ship is fucking in half, saying, oh, this ain't my fault. I'm not the captain anymore.
Yeah. That is a good analogy. While the Titanic is sinking after the iceberg's been hit, the captain resigns from his position and the first mate becomes captain, and then he goes, hey, you sank the ship, dumbass, and then wants to blame him for it. That's not how that works.
stepping away from being the captain of this sinking ship. You're still to fucking blame, your event's still gonna fail, and guess what? If your little promoters have any ounce of smarts, this event will never happen again. Don't support Creator Clash or any charity tied to Ian and Anissa. And in the spirit of being an asshole, I'm going to put a fundraiser on this video for cancer research. If you'd like to donate, at least 1 penny would raise more than Creator Clash choose, so feel free. And if you'd like to waste your money, feel free to join my Patreon. Or become a channel member, or fucking throw it at someone else. I don't give a fuck. Ian, you're fired.
We're triggered by this CPS harassment thing, and then you immediately equated Anissa and I to it.
No wonder he equated the CPS shit to you. You joined the shitty people and doing the fucking shitty L dance, and you never decided to denounce them when shit was going bad. By the way, I can't even tell if Ian's just fucking stupid or malicious. I'm leaning on malicious, but sometimes the shit he does is just so fucking retarded. He lies and says the CPS call was the same day that H3 decided to call out Ian and Anissa, which is patently false. They didn't call into the fucking show and raid.
Ooh, show his highly manipulated and context absent timeline that he showed to try to prove that, oh no, this all came after. Yeah, just the manipulation tactics you see are through the roof.
The show. The reason they reacted the way that they reacted is that when they were messaging you, people like Froggy Tonic and Denims were either directly or indirectly promoting the idea that CPS needed to be called on Ethan and Hila. When they reached out to you, you guys ignored them. This timeline is all fucked up because Froggy Tonic's tweets talking about Ethan as a father and Denim's reacting to Bad Empanado was all before the CPS call. That's why you were in the discussion. That's why they were trying to reach out to you. You ignored them. That's why they talk shit publicly.
Horseshit. He's lying. Like, the whole thing is a fucking lie. He's manipulating his audience. We did not have a close relationship.
How many times are you going to recharacterize this friendship? When it's convenient, they're close friends. When it's inconvenient, they're horrible fucking light friends. You guys barely fucking knew each other.
Thank you. That's what I was saying. Like, it's so obvious. You go from light friends to acquaintances to business partners. Like, how many times are you going to recontextualize this?
Yeah, just one of those friendships where you go to each other's houses and meet each other's families and have dinners and sleep over for weeks on end and make shit tons of content publicly. Go to each other when you need favors for each other's careers. Just one of those little buddy, like tiny little, you know, handshake kind of friendships, you know? He's gonna justify the CPS call. Everyone get ready for the war zone. Thank you, Yoko Ono.
I'm in the war zone right now. Shit. I'm coming.
It's actually Ian's wife who says that.
To be honest, I'm very proud that I didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Hila's defense. There was this H3 stream where Ethan was dumping as per usual. He was talking about his own health, his dog having giardia.
Olive has giardia.
His child running around putting things in their mouth.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
The whole family possibly having giardia.
Oh,
and now Hila has giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Anyone who's seeing that content might be concerned enough to call CPS, including
They're hiding on the
Ethan's
buy
own chat.
station.
The fucking manipulative ways clipping the chat messages. You got the gall to fucking accuse him of manipulating chat when he left the full Denim's chat on screen and just showed a cutout. And here you are cutting out individual messages from God knows where. No context whatsoever. And that's fine. Fuck you.
Which, by the way, is not a measly number.
I could not believe this when I saw this, when Ian decided to justify the CPS call, saying H3's fans were probably the ones behind it. Absolutely not. This podcast episode and those chat messages were weeks before the call, A. B, they're clearly joking. I know you've been on live streams before. Chat makes a lot of jokes at people's expenses. That's very normal. And you cannot sit here and lie and pretend like Denims was not being malicious, Froggy was not being malicious, and Bad Empanado was not being malicious when they were sharing that shit about Ethan trying.
Show the response that Bad Empanada sent to Ethan to gloat about it afterward. This wasn't public. After the video dropped that led to the CPS call, he sends a private message to Ethan with ominous music going, I bet today sucked, didn't it, buddy? Oh, there's more coming. Yeah, he's just, they're owning it in private. And Ethan leaks it, and like we're just supposed to pretend that video didn't happen, I guess, because you guys don't acknowledge it. Yeah, it's so obvious what's happening here.
To relitigate the situation and make it into something it wasn't. At that point, Giardi had already been debunked.
I don't trust you, and I'm glad I didn't trust you, because in your video defending yourself, you used a video that takes context from like 3 different places.
How is it any different than what you just did? Just showing individual messages with no context. How is this worse?
And combines them to make it seem like someone is coordinating an attack on you.
You do the same thing as Ethan by showing the chats,
including Ethan's own chat.
That's clearly an edit, okay? You compiled chats, so did Ethan. Anyone with a brain can recognize that that's an edit. That's not the actual chat going over top the screen. Like, the call was clearly a malicious attempt to harass Ethan. Anyone with a brain can easily recognize that. I guess Ian agrees with Bad Empanada, so that's something. Also, notice how he doesn't mention the human skulls in this video, because that doesn't fit that, oh, it's his fans harassing him.
Or I can show that you're...
Yeah, the narrative that they'll push, which I will be shocked if he actually, like... well, no, I'm not going to pull a Gokanaru and say I'll eat a shoe, because at this point, this motherfucker might actually do it, and then I'll have to eat a shoe. Gokanaru ate a shoe on stream. A literal fucking shoe. I mean, it was a flip-flop, but he ate it. Yeah, so I'm not going to say I'll eat a shoe, but I will be shocked if he actually comes out and follows the conspiracy narrative that Ethan sent the human skulls to himself for content. He sent himself a terroristic threat.
Tattoo made it to the top of awful taste but great execution subreddit, which is not a good thing. I mean, it might be a good thing for the artists that you work with, because that means that they did a good job from a technical standpoint, but it's sort of a failure in every other aspect.
Oh, so now you're going to attack his...
And you know what? Mad respect for Gokanaru for eating the shoe. All right? It's a man of his word. I respect it. I am the same. If I say I'm going to do something, I will literally eat a shoe if I said I would. This is why I don't say things unless I intend to do them.
His wife, after you've cried for years about people making fun of your wife, you have now opened your wife to a world of criticism from an entirely new audience, and believe me, there's a lot of subject matter. And I'm making this video because you don't understand why you're worthy of criticism. I also like how you don't show the real ratio. You just show the one for iDubbbz complaints. That's really secure of you, Ian.
Stop!
You violated the law.
Now we're going to talk a bit about Creator Clash, the boxing event started by Anissa's husband. Creator Clash is an influencer boxing event.
The constantly referring to him as iDubbbz as Anissa's husband too. That's icing on the cake. You've earned yourself a sub, kid. This is good. This is good stuff.
Event meant to gather in a bunch of creators that you wouldn't expect to get in the ring to fight it out, all for charity. The first one was a major success, raising over $1 million for charity, and even every fighter got a bonus, but they didn't have enough to pay Airsoft Fatty, apparently. It wasn't without controversy.
Finally! The first fucking creator to actually, like, reference I Saw Fatty. I don't care if he's a lolcow or you think he's white trash. It doesn't make his, you know, what happened to him invalid. He was used and abused and then not paid. He fought in Creator Clash just like the rest of them, but he didn't get to go to the parties. He got ignored, and he didn't get paid. He did it for free. He got exploited. It doesn't matter if you think he's white trash. That doesn't excuse the exploitation. Finally, someone fucking mentioned it.
However, as Ian banned Sam Hyde, someone who helped one of the other fighters, Harley Morenstein, train for the event and was a subject of one of Ian's documentaries. He ended up refunding $10,000 worth of tickets that could have gone to charity to Sam. However, this success did not translate over to the next event. They ignorantly and stupidly assumed that the sequel event would garner more success than the original event. They took no anti-piracy measures, booked a much bigger venue, the Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium, added 4 more fights to the card, paid top dollar for a professional wrestler who isn't even an influencer to fight on the card. They added special parties like galas and photo opportunities before and after the event, and they paid for the flights of many big creators who weren't...
Yeah, their ego showed. That second Creator Clash was never about charity. It was about their ego. It was an ego show. They treated it like their own personal fucking convention so they could feel like celebrities and use charity as an excuse to do it. And then they lost $250,000 for charity.
even fighting on.
Lost. They were in the red. It's not that they made no money for charity. They made negative money for charity.
The event. And guess who got paid flights to the event? You know, Denim, Sasan, you know, the whole crew. And can I say, when you're operating at a loss, you can tend to see that pattern really early on. When you have to pay for that $20,000 comedian, in the end, they came out with a $250,000 deficit to their bank accounts and zero money for charity. Ian tried rectifying this by doing a charity stream, but only ended up raising $162,000 out of the $250,000. That's not even an iDubbbz empathy meter worth of what they raised last time. On top of all of that, Ian caused a lot of controversy before the event, causing a lot of people to try to refund their tickets before they disabled that ability by kicking Froggy Fresh off the card over some dumb Twitter drama and collaborating with Sam Hyde. Mind you, Harley Morenstein the previous year had also collaborated with Sam Hyde. So this was pretty shocking to a lot of fans.
Yeah, it was fine the first year, but not fine the second one because you were beefing with him. Like, this guy, the rules of engagement change based on how hurt his feelings are.
One of the reasons I brought that up is because Ian had such a problem with Froggy being friends with Sam Hyde and collaborating with him, but does not understand why Ethan wants people associated with him condemned who have done all this shit to him. Another YouTuber, Jadion, even offered $100,000 to fund Creator Clash if Ian just let Froggy Fresh fight, which Ian declined. This means on top of all of their expenses, they had to pay for another fighter as well. That same fighter pummeled the fuck out of Chris Raygun because their weight and height difference was pretty major. Now let me...
Yeah, the replacement fighter you get for him isn't even in his weight class. So then you screw over the fighters, and it's like every mistake that could have possibly been made, you guys made. Because it was never about the fighters. It was never about the charity. It was all about your ego. You weren't even there for the fights. You were there for your pseudo Met Gala that you put on, for your wannabe convention, for your photo opportunities. You were there to feel like a celebrity. This was a everybody put me up on a pedestal fest. This was all just to stroke his ego. Oh, but there's a charity aspect to it, so you can't criticize it. Whatever, man.
Let me be clear. The event was fun. I went and I had a great time. I got to meet lots of creators and get to reconnect with a lot of people that I hadn't seen in years. Plus, I got to make new friends. I even met Hassan. It was a fun event and I don't regret going. With all that said, you don't screw up charity. Even calling this boxing event charity is pretty misleading. It implies that there is no for-profit element whatsoever. Anissa and Ian had a mask-off moment on the H3 podcast.
And we kind of want it to be like a Super Bowl, like every year.
You want to do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
If it works out, then we can do that. And there could always be a charity aspect to it. But I think...
That's right. The charity was an afterthought out of his own fucking mouth. So if you don't agree with my take, if you're going to come in my chat and start telling me how bad my takes are, no take, bro, blah, blah, he just fucking said it with his own fucking mouth. So if you still think that's an L take, you are denying reality. You are completely fucking snark-brained. He just said it with that cocksucking mouth of his.
The main goal is just to get the people paid who are involved in making it happen.
That's right. Main goal is to get people paid. There might be a charity aspect to it. That's what he said when he was planning the event. That was always the goal. Was to make sure him and his friends made a bag and got to have cool parties and feel like celebrities. And they got that. All his friends got paid. Charity didn't get paid. They got paid.
I think if they wanted to right their wrongs and ask for a second chance at charity, they would downsize a bit. And sure, they did that fighter-wise, but maybe less dinners, less galas and shit before and after the event. Maybe don't re-rent the Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium that you couldn't even fill last time. And also, maybe don't jeopardize your event by putting one of your fighters who is from one of the biggest promotion opportunities that you've had at your past two events in a shitty situation like you've just done. A little update on the situation. So one of the main card fighters, Harley Morenstein from Epic Mealtime, dropped out. Why did he drop out? Well, one of the reasons was because when he agreed to fight, they agreed that all fighters would be getting paid the same amount. But when Harley talked to his opponent, iDubbbz, turns out he was getting paid more. Another reason is Harley felt quite uncomfortable with this whole drama, with Ian seeming to side with pro-terrorist and pro-Hamas people like Hassan, Denims, and Frogan. And by the way, I don't know if you knew this, I don't know if you could tell by the fucking last name, but Harley Morenstein is a Jew! The main card of this fight was not meant to be Israel versus Palestine, it was supposed to be Harley versus iDubbbz. He was also quite uncomfortable with the use of the swastika sword in the content cop, and unfortunately, shortly after, Lena Ayad from the H3 podcast, the wife of AB, decided to drop out as well. And what's really fucked up about that is
yeah, his fighters are dropping like flies. And look, I don't blame any of the fighters. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't blame any of the fighters if they stay on board. I don't think any fighter who's staying to fight is doing it because they support iDubbbz or because they hate H3. I don't think that they have anything to do with any of this drama. They've trained hard for this. This is a big moment for them, and I don't blame them for seizing that fucking moment. It just sucks that now, like, the shadow of his personal beef with another creator has tainted the big moment of all these people you were supposedly trying to give a big moment to.
Is, as I said, if Ian had a spine, he would buy her out. He didn't, and that's fucked up. But thankfully, Ethan did decide to cover the costs that Lena and AB were going to face because Ian decided not to buy them out, which is nice. Creator Clash 3 will likely fail, and I won't be supporting it. However, I will be rooting for Lena on the sidelines. Maybe if shit hadn't hit the fan and there was better marketing, I would have ended up going again. However, given the fact that the UFC and Jake Paul are also having fighting events the same night across the country, and that VidCon is literally the week before all the way across the country, I don't see much success here. And those ticket sales are not looking too good. I'll paraphrase something that Nicholas Diorio said. If you want to support charity, don't—
Told you. He's hitting all the Nicholas Diorio points. This is a Nick's super fan that decided to make a video. Nothing wrong with that, I'm just saying. I see the influence.
Donate directly. If you want to waste money, donate to me.
Anissa and I have decided to step away from Creator Clash. We have relinquished control to our business partners
And he's right.
and the previous two.
And he's absolutely right. If you guys really want to donate to charity, you really want to feel like good people, you really want... just donate directly to the charity. Don't buy tickets to this fucking event. Don't trust them to give your money to charity for you. Just go to the charity of your choosing. Doesn't even have to be one that's on this card. You can just go to whatever cause you believe in and donate it. And the best part is, if you donate directly to charity, as opposed to buying tickets for an event that will surely fail, you can write that off on your taxes. You can actually get a kickback for it. So there you go. It's a win for everybody, including the charities, because I am very skeptical of any of the money that they're given, that they're making off of this going to charity. I don't trust them with charity money after the last event. I just don't.
Two events. They're very capable. They know exactly what they're doing. They run events on a regular basis. The event is still happening. Anissa and I just don't have any financial ties. We don't have any ownership. We are, I think just going to be known as the founders of the event.
Another grand idea that Ian had was to give the event to the people who ran the last two events. Were they a part of the financial decisions to run all those galas, buy out the hotels, get the comedian and all that other shit? I'd like to see the finances. Were they a part of those shitty financial decisions? Let's see some accounting. And speaking of accounting, I find it extremely suspicious that you claim that you're not getting any financial benefit from this. You made a big investment to make this event, and you're just not gonna get anything back from it. I don't buy that for a fucking second. It's
bullshit. It's bullshit. Just like all the other stuff he said. Like, there's no reason to believe a word that comes out of this guy's mouth. I'm sorry. I wouldn't trust him with any money whatsoever, let alone charity money.
just not how finance works. You are most certainly getting your investment back if you have any smarts whatsoever. And if not, I just find it extremely suspicious. Let's see some fucking accounting, because I don't believe that for a second.
Right. Show the numbers. Show the receipts. Bring the receipts to the table. Show us where the money's going. Be transparent. If you're all about being honest and transparent, then fucking do it, man. Fucking be honest and transparent.
You've proven to be malicious. You might not be gaining anything financially, but you sure as hell have to be getting your investment back, which means less money for charity. You also gotta love this characterization that it's because of drama and not that Ian and Issa did anything wrong. You guys fucked up the last event. You fucked this event, but it's not your fault. It's all H3's fault. You guys are free from any blame. It's because of everyone else. You're just so fucking spineless, dude.
You bringing up Lena dropping out of the fight was you publicly showing to your fans, like, I don't approve of this. You were saying this shit before the content cop even came out.
Which I told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out.
But now you are saying that you didn't have a problem with any of it until I made the video.
I was totally on board until the organizer put out a video calling me a psychopath. You already forced Lena into this horrible
Spring Mind's at the,
situation. And again, you forced the situation on her.
Why would I do such a thing to Lena? Dude, you have as much agency as I do.
On your left, on your left, on your left, on your left.
What a fucking
behind.
Weasley little liar, dude.
You have no fucking place to blame Ethan for the Lena situation. Why did Harley drop out then? It was
Yeah, you're the one who decided to start a beef with her boss before her boxing event. How the fuck is that on him? He didn't ask you to drop a content cop in the middle of your fucking boxing event, dipshit.
Is that Ethan's fault too? It's because you're a horrible fucking boss.
It's almost as if all the stuff he's saying about Ethan applies to him. What's the term they use for that? Projection? Is iDubbbz projecting his insecurities and all of his problems onto another person? No.
To wrap up this video, we're going to take a look at what growing and changing looks like. Losing all sense of irony, not pushing vulnerable people's buttons unless it's beneficial to your career. Don't morally grandstand unless you've grown and changed. Harassment is bad, with one exception. Racism is bad, but anti-Semitism is okay. It's okay if you promote terrorists, but not if you condemn them. America deserved 9/11. Either all of them are okay or none of them okay? No, but some of them are. Having money is bad. I'm being a bit facetious, however, it is pretty clear that while yes, Ian has changed, it doesn't seem like he gained any empathy for anyone other than himself. In fact, I almost argue that Ian is more bigoted now than he ever was. Like, at least before he had the excuse of just making a joke, but all throughout his recent video, he was patronizing all kinds of groups of people. As for Anissa, I don't think Ian's change is entirely her fault. I think they have an equal role of this retardation. Anissa's problem is Anissa. She's extremely unlikable and always has been.
Yeah, I've said that from the beginning. Everyone's like, Anissa ruined iDubbbz. No, I'm not saying she didn't have any influence over him, but all she did was bring to the surface or shine a spotlight on shit that was already there. This has always been who he is, dude. Always has been, always will be. She just made it okay for him to act like that in public. That's all.
Ian sees something in her, and I guess good for him. But take one look at her Twitter and see why people feel the way they feel about her. She does herself no favors. Ian, if you're going to be upset with Ethan wanting you to speak out, maybe don't give him a reason to be upset by openly endorsing Froggy Tonic and Denims after what they did, making it clear whose side you're taking on your podcast, or make a 1-hour video shitting on the guy. Now, as someone who has benefited from the use of therapy, I gotta say that this weaponization and reliability of therapy is extremely fucking annoying and overdone.
I can't speak for whether or not therapy works. I've never needed therapy. I mean, my wife says I do. I've been through some shit, but I feel like I've handled it well on my own.
At this point, it's beyond concern trolling. Can I just say, if I was deeply depressed and thinking about getting help, and I saw this latest video of Anissa's husband recommending therapy to me, I would run away. His latest video is anti-therapy propaganda. Finally, the last point I'll mention on this episode is about the series itself. Content Cop was always meant to be a little bit funny. However, in this latest one on H3, I think I audibly chuckled only a few times. And
well, you've done a good job of taking the crown, son. I think Content Cop officially belongs to you now. I've thought about making one of my own, but I'm gonna let him have it. I'll make my own version of something. I'm not sure who it'll be on yet. No one's pissed me off enough to actually make an edited video. Most of the time I'm just laughing at these morons from the sidelines. But, hey, I think Content Cop is better in Cameron's hands than iDubbbz. You've got my vote, Cameron. Good job, bud. Keep it up.
Most of it was because of jokes that Ethan was making in the clips. There was only one occasion where one of Ian's jokes actually landed. In conclusion, being pro-Palestine or Making charity events does not absolve you of criticism. And I can't find a...
Let's fucking go. I mean, we played our part, but the randos won it for us. It's 2 dubs tonight, baby. Let's go for the hat trick.
Good God, are you serious? Sorry, I was.
Good.
I was
Wait, we
watching
won.
wrestling
Yeah,
'cause
we
I was like,
fucking
fuck
won.
it, waiting for us to die.
We fucking won. That's 2 in one night, baby. Let's go for let's go for the hat trick. It's a good way to end the
Hey,
YouTube VOD.
for once it wasn't us
VOD
carrying
watchers.
it.
Hey, yeah, this time it wasn't us. Now, the one at the beginning of the stream, you guys got 2 dubs in one VOD, you lucky VOD
Back
watchers.
to back.
Well,
Seth
no.
Rogen's.
Well, no, the
Seth
first
Rogen,
WOD was
Nicki
before I
Minaj.
started the content. But still, this is the kind of awesome, intense, gaming content you guys are missing by only watching these VODs. It's not all reaction stuff here all the time, baby. We do gaming content too, and I do debates. And I do debates and talk to people. You should see my last one. It's pretty good. I debate a snarker. In case you guys forgot, I mentioned that at the beginning of the video. I'll mention it again. All right, let's finish this out and go ahead and go for our third.
Person more worthy of criticism than
With the
iDubbbz.
medic.
Well, that's going to do it for today's episode of Content Cop. If you have any recommendations or if you want me to keep going, just let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to see some of my sources, the links are in the description below. Please check them out, okay? They've done some great work. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
I will definitely be subscribing to your channel, Cameron. You've earned yourself a sub, and I'll leave a comment and a like. All that good stuff to boost your engagement and let you know that you are now, in my mind, the new Content Cop. iDubbbz can call those videos he wants, call Content Cops all he wants, and he can even put on the uniform for 2 minutes at the beginning for the sake of nostalgia. But you're the new Content Cop. That's an impersonator. All right, the reboot was successful. There's a new sheriff in town. So, that's it.
This
That's
town ain't big enough for the both of us.
You're damn right, and I think the new king has spoken. This is a Content Cop done right. They said it couldn't be done 2025. You can't do a Content Cop. That's 2016 YouTube. That shit wouldn't work in 2025. Well, Cameron proved you all wrong. Be sure to give him a like and a subscribe. As far as my review of the Content Cop, it was almost perfect. A few moments in there where, he probably could have done things a little bit differently. A couple of sources where I would have picked a different video, that kind of thing. But otherwise, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Stellar video, top notch. Good job, Cameron. Great moves. Keep it up. And if you guys like my moves and what I'm doing on this stream, and in these VODs, remember, we do these streams every night, roughly 11 p.m., give or take. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to see when I go live and to see when I post a new video. The Discord link is always in the chat, but it should also be in the description. So be sure to join the Discord, get in on the conversation. Or you can just like the videos and subscribe and continue to be a VOD watcher. For now, though, I'm going to go back to my live stream, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.